Honorable Remulla.
Okay, kasi ito, I just want to lay the predicate for kasi we are being bashed, Mr. Chairman, a matter of personal and collective privilege. Binabash po tayo sa social media. Ang dinadahilan po ng mga followers ng ABS CBN in accordance with their communication plan, I suppose, na meron daw silang franchise to broadcast from Ankara. Eh ako po, I find something unusual about this. Kasi yung block time agreement na yon is hindi ho tama yung signals na nakukuha ko sa pagkaunawa ko po ng pagpapatakbo ng isang kumpanya. Marami hong sinabi tungkol sa Kongreso. Ngayon ho, gusto ko malaman kung sila po ay forthcoming sa kanila mga sinasabi sa committee ito. At sa akin po, Mr. Chairman, para ho madali tayo rito, since we are already within, just give me 5 minutes, pero ang sa akin po, padala po natin ng NBI. Tawagan natin ng NBI, tulungan tayong mag-imbestiga tungkol ho sa veracity ng report ng NTC. Para ho magkasubukan na. Kasi dito po, para magkaintindihan na hindi ho tayo nanggigipit, tayo po, batas lang po ang pinatutupad natin.
Mr.
Kasi
Chairman,
marami ho silang dinadahilan eh.
on the point of the
Yes, Vice Chairman Defensor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On the point of the personal collective privilege ni Honorable Remulla, tama po yun eh. Kasi parang sinasabi po dun sa social media, black timer si ABS CBN kay Channel 43. Tama po. Honorable Remulla, di ba? Ganun po yung lumalabas eh.
Ang po yung naririnig ko.
Opo. Kaya po kahapon pa sinasabi namin, hindi. Yan ay signal ni ABS CBN. Ngayon po sinabi ng NTC, walang equipment si Amkara. At nung chinek nung kanilang technical staff ng engineer, ang signal nanggagaling sa ABS-CBN tower sa compound. And so I joined the Honorable Remulla with his personal collective privilege. Ito po talaga, wala tayong ginigipit, batas ang sinusunod natin, sila ang hindi sumusunod sa pagpapatupad ng batas. And if there will be a call by the Honorable Remulla for the NBI to look into this, we have the reports of the NTC, then I join him, Mr. Chairman.
I will submit to them the documents that I have, pero establish pa ho natin ng kaunting na lang ho ito. Kaunting na lang po. Meron ba ho mga permit ang Amkara to install digital equipment na nakuha sa NTC? Mr.
Opo, bago po kasi magtayo ng binigyan po namin sila ng provisional authority. Pagkatapos po noon ay hihingi po sila ng mga permits sa amin para po makapagtayo ng digital, makapag-ere ng digital para po sa mga equipment nila na bago dahil po yung analog ay luma na po yon. So humingi po sila ng permit sa amin. Yan po yung mga permits to possess, permit to purchase, permit to construct, permit to operate, permit to sell.
Meron na ho silang permit na hawak para ho sa digital equipment?
Your Honor, dun po sa mga lugar na chinek ko po kanina, na binanggit ko po kanina, wala pong permit sa Metro Manila, pati po sa ibang lugar ay wala rin pong permits. But Your Honors, the best evidence would be a certification from our regional directors. And humingi na po ko sa kanila, we can also submit it to the committee. Wala pong permit sa any areas po na may digital TV.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Commissioner, tama ba ho ko sa pag-iisip na kailangan po ng permits sa NTC sapagkat may national security implications ang broadcasting equipment? Tama ba ho ito?
Well, kasama po yun, Your Honors, at saka isa pa po, kasi po kapag wala kang permit at gumamit ka lang ng kahit na anong transmitter, maaari pong yung transmitter mo ay makaapekto sa iba po nagtatransmit. Kaya po dapat very exact po yan, lalo na po ngayon sa digital. So ano po yun?
Kung mali po yung, kung meron ho mga signal na manggagaling sa kolorum na lugar, tama ho yun, Mr. Commissioner.
Opo, maapakan po yung signal ng TV, hindi po makakapanood ang ating mga kababayan, lalong-lalo na po dito sa digital TV ay marami pong program sa isang 6 MHz. Kaya dapat po very precise, meron ka pong sariling permit, meron ka pong sariling gamit, kaya po humihingi po ng permit sa aming opisina bago po bumili at habang kinoconstruct po yan.
Mr. Chairman, mahaba ba utong sanang tatanungin ko kasi pati yung financial statements nila, pinag-aralan ko po, meron po isang problema na lang na lumalabas eh. Sa FS po nila kasi, 2018, charges to ABS, ito FS po ito ng Amkara ha, charges to ABS CBN block time. 33,248,452. Charges by ABS CBN facilities related expense 18,229,596. Wala ho rito ibang item na pinagkikitaan ang AMCARA kundi ABS-CBN. Affiliates, charges by subsidiaries of ABS-CBN. Yun din po, 228,279 pesos. Lumalabas po talaga, ito yung panahon na hindi pa sila nagda-divest. Pero ngayon po, meron ba ho sila ipakikita na may equipment na ho ang AMCARA na hindi po ABS-CBN ang may-ari? Gusto niyong sagutin, Mr. Tan? Ms. Vidanes? Mr. Miranda? Mr. Quezon? Sino ang gusto sumagot sa inyo? May equipment ba ho ang AMCARA na hindi ho hinihiram sa ABS-CBN?
Before you begin,
Vice Chairman Defensor.
Mr. Karandang, medyo doon po sa binanggit ni Honorable Remulla kanina na wala po kayong equipment at yung signal nang gagaling po sa ABS-CBN, yan po, winawarningan ko na po kayo na may problema po tayo dyan. Just so that I remind you, please do not anymore deceive the Congress and this government. Hindi lang po ang Kongreso, ang NTC, ang buong gobyerno sa nangyayari sa ngayon. At yung pong patawag ni Honorable Remulla para sa NBI, yan po lalalim lalo ang problema sa pag-iimbestiga dito. So, Honorable Remulla, with your indulgence, pasensya na po.
Mr. Karandang, are you present?
Yes, present po.
Alam niyo naman yung rights niyo, no? Kayo ba yung pana? Have you taken your oath of
Yes, yes sir.
So lahat po ng sinasabi niyo dito ay totoo at hindi
Yes.
ko gagawa ng ibang storya.
Oo.
May investment na ba ho kayo sa digital equipment, Mr. Karandang?
Hindi pa ho kami bumibili ng transmitter para sa digital TV. Yun po ang totoo.
Ano ho yan?
Hindi pa kami nabili po. Hindi pa kami nag-i-import ng bagong transmitter para sa digital TV.
Saan ho nanggagaling ang signal ng AMCARA?
Ang totoo po niyan, nung na-assign ang frequency ng AMCARA na Channel 43 sa ABS-CBN, nung nagsimula sila mag-test broadcast, bumili na ho ang ABS-CBN ho ang bumili ng mga transmitter para doon sa test broadcast.
Okay.
Kaya hindi ko ho kami bumili.
2019, Mr. Karandang, no? 2019 po ito? Anong year ho ito?
Before 2019 po ito, na nagsimula mag-test broadcast ang ABS-CBN. Kasi inassign po yung Channel 43, inassign ng NTC, yung Channel 43 sa ABS-CBN po. Yun po ang nangyari. So ang bumili ho ng transmitter, si ABS-CBN kasi sila yung magte-test broadcast.
Pero kayo na ho may-ari ng AMCARA nung ulit, di ba? Sabi ho sa investment po ng ABS-CBN.
Oh, tama po 'yon. Ngayon, naggawa ho kami ng deed of assignment from ABS-CBN to AMCARA pero hindi pa ho nasasubmit sa NTC. Kasi bakit pa ho kami bibili kung nakabili na kasi Channel 43 siya, so sa Channel 43 lang ho siya magagamit. Ganun po yung situation namin ngayon.
So yung lahat po, pero Mr. Karandang, no? Bago ho naging digital ang AMCARA, bago ho nagkaroon ng digital permits, kayo po ay block timer ng ABS-CBN. Kayo po ay nagbibigay ng block time sa ABS-CBN.
Tama po yun.
For 24 years, ganun ba ho yun, Mr. Karandang?
Ganun po lumalabas.
21 hours a day, Mr. Karandang?
Tama po yun. Covered ho ng block time agreement.
For 24 years, Mr. Karandang?
Tama po. Kasi nung nagsimula kami, yung simula ho namin,
Empleyado nyo ba ho? Empleyado nyo sa engineers? Ay empleyado nyo lang kusang mag-isa? O empleyado ng ABS CBN ang inyong ginagamit?
ang nangyari ho sa arrangement ang arrangement ho namin, kumuha ho kami ng nag-outsource ho kami ng operations ng transmitter for operational efficiency. So, nag-outsource ho ito kay TSI.
Ano ho yun? Ano ho yun? Ngayong panahon nyo na?
Ngayon po, yung binanggit ho nyo na Channel 43, ang owner ho noon during that time, ang bumili is ABS CBN po.
Ngayon, kayo na may-ari nun?
Sila talaga ang may-ari noon kasi nga, ginagamit ng NTC yung Channel 43 sa ABS CBN para makapag-test broadcast.
Eh yung sa mga probinsya po, yung mga...
Yung sa mga probinsya po, ganun din po yung ron, doon sa digital.
Cebu.
Yung mga, ganun din po nangyari. Kasi ang test broadcast ng
ABS-CBN lahat.
ABS-CBN po talaga yon. Yung mga analog lang po ang sa Angkara. Yun yung mga binanggit na mga luma home transmitters. Yung mga analog na nag-operate. Pakiulit po.
Ginagana pa ho yung mga transmitter na yon?
Yeah, nasa maintenance po yun eh.
Pero hindi ho digital. Ito po yung analog.
Hindi ho digital yon. Wala pa ho kami binibili na digital transmitter.
Diba? Sa television, sa YouTube TV talaga bagay ang analog. Kaya ho nag-migrate tayo sa digital.
Yes.
Diba?
Opo, tama po yun. Ngayon, nag-execute ho ng deed of assignment between ABS-CBN and Angkara doon sa mga digital TV transmitters. Kasi nga, nakabili na sila eh. Masasayang naman ho yung mga transmitter.
Sa Angkara, lahat ng transmitter?
Ito hong sa digital lang po.
Tapos, ano hong tax implication nun sa assignment? Nagbayad ba kayo ng buwis para magamit yung equipment na yon o hindi ho?
Pag-uusapan pa yon, sa ngayon, nag-execute lang kami ng deed of assignment. Hindi pa ho ito na isasubmit ho sa NTC. Itong deed of assignment na po.
Dapat, huwag kayo magtatakip ha. Ang mga tanong ho namin, malinaw.
Opo.
So hindi pa ho ninyo binabayaran ng ABS-CBN sa equipment na to sa deed of assignment?
Wala pa ho, hindi pa ho na-approve yung itong deed of assignment na to, kailangan namin isubmit sa NTC. Pag na-approve ho, tsaka ho mapoprocess lahat itong mga bayaran po.
So lumalabas, for the past 18 months, Mr. Karandang, wala kayong binibiling equipment at wala kayong tinatrabahong equipment para ho mag-transmit ang Angkara all over the country.
Ang nangyari po, nag-execute na kami ng deed of assignment. Pwede ho namin isubmit ito sa inyo yung kopya.
Ano ho yan? It will only be official if it's notarized.
Yes.
Honorable Julia.
Notarized po ito.
Defensor.
Ay, Mr. Chairman, salamat po. Mr. Karandang, pati ho yung tower, i-deed of assignment sa inyo?
Hindi po. Ano ho yun? Ang tawag ho doon, co-location. So may mga rental cost ho doon.
Ipaparenta po sa inyo?
Opo. Sharing ho yun. Para cost effective ho yung operation.
Kung ilalagay po sa inyo yung tower, ilalagay sa inyo yung equipment, para kunyari po, kayo na talaga yung nagpapa-TV Plus. Tama po ba?
Yes. Tama po yun. Ang TV Plus ho, receiver ho yun eh. Parang TV set yun na kinakabit sa TV. So pag nag-broadcast ka ng digital, kahit anong frequency ho ng digital, marireceive po dun sa TV Plus na box.
Tama po.
Mr. Chair, pwedeng
So, ngayon po,
ilang tanong lang.
ngayon po na naipit na, ibabalik na, ngayon na nasara na, sa inyo na po ibibigay muna. Pero di po ba dapat, doon sa analog ninyo, kung saan kayo na-approve, doon nyo itatayo yung tower, At doon kayo mag-aalagay para for the digital box. Hindi ho pwedeng sa ABS CBN signal ang gagamitin ninyo. Tama po ba?
Pakiulit po.
Kasi po sa ngayon, gumagana kayo sa signal na nanggagaling sa tower ng ABS CBN na yung pong signal na yun inaprubahan ng NTC. Tama po, di ba?
Tama po.
So, ang Amkara may iba siyang signal at dapat ibang tower. Kung sakali magdi-digital TV kayo, dapat sa tower din nyo galing sa inyong sariling signal na i-assign o naka-assign sa inyo batay sa inyong prangkisa.
Ganito po yun eh. Yung 43 naka-assign po ngayon sa Amkara. Ang naka-assign na po ngayon ay Channel 16 para sa ABS-CBN. Yung Channel 16 po ang sinara ng ABS-CBN.
Paalala
Kasi yung Amkara is assigned to, yung 43 assigned sana. Opo.
dinig na ito, kung maaari po ay yung pawang katotohanan lamang po ang sabihin ninyo sa joint committee na ito sapagkat patong-patong po ang inyong magiging kaso pagkatapos po ng hearing na ito kung mapapatunayan na kayo ay hindi nagsasabi ng pawang katotohanan.
Opo.
Mr. Canandang, huli na lang po. Ito pong binabanggit niyong lahat na pag-ayos, paglipat sa inyo. Pinag-usapan niyo po yan ng ABS-CBN. Tama po ba?
Opo.
Opo. Thank you po.
Ito na lang, ano? Ang deed of assignment po, magkano ang consideration, Mr. Karandang? Magkano binayad nyo para i-assign sa inyo ng ABS-CBN ang lahat?
84,196,083 pesos po.
Magkano ho? Magkano?
84 million po.
Ang binayad nyo?
Ang ibabayad po once ma-approve itong
Executed ang contract, wala pang consideration.
pakiulit po.
Hindi pa ho executed ang contract kasi wala pang consideration.
Consideration na inaantay lang po namin pag na-submit ho natin to at na-approve ho ng NTC, magbabayad ho kami. Pero pag hindi po na-approve,
Isang tanong pa ho.
Opo.
Dilipat po yung shares ng 49% ng ABS-CBN sa inyo. Tama ho, Mr. Karandang?
Tama po.
Ang 51%, sino ho may-ari?
Original po, ang Karandang family po. Ngayon, naka-estate po sa akin yung shares po ng father ko. Kasi namatay na ho po yung father ko.
Naka-estate po sa iyo. Ang tanong po rito, magkano binayad nyo para makakuha nyo yung 49%?
Ang alam ko ho, 40 million.
Hahanapin po namin ng paper trail ng perang yan. Ha?
Opo.
O sige ha, 40 million. Binayaran nyo ng cash, cheque, paano nyo binayaran?
Dividends po.
Ha?
Dividends.
Dividends? Paano mo binayaran ng Amkara ang ABS-CBN? Paano mo binayad nyo? 40 million? Cash po ito? Paano yung nag-deal of
Ito eh, hindi po kasama yung
dividendo? Anong dividends ito? Anong dividends sinasabi nyo?
Your Honor.
Meron mo kayong shares of stock, tapos ina-assign nyo po yung dividends nyo sa ABS-CBN. Paano ko ito?
Opo, ganun po. Pero hindi ko po kapisado ito eh. Hindi ko kasama yung abogado namin eh. Para ipaliwanag po ito.
Sino mong abogado ang gumagawa niyan?
Your Honor, can I request Attorney Maxim po?
Sino ang abogado ang gumagawa niyan?
Hindi ko po kilala eh. Baka
Hindi nyo kilala yung abogado. Pero 40 million, binabayad nyo ng cash, hindi nyo kilala yung abogado. Nagbayad po kayo ng cash? Ano ho? Assignment ba? Assign kayo ng 40 million pesos?
Hindi po cash. Hindi po cash.
Ano nga? Paano nga naging 40 million? Ayun ho yung pinagyabang sa amin ng ABS-CBN noong isang araw eh. Binayaran nyo raw sila ng 40 million eh.
Yeah. Based on dividends po yun.
Ano ba
Assignment of
dividend yun? Ipaliwanag nyo sa amin. Dividendo, di ibig sabihin, no, may kita po kayo na pera na binabayad nyo po sa ABS CBN para magkaroon kayo ng shares of stock. Di ba? Para maibalik sa inyo yung 49% na Amkara. Tama ho to?
Tama po.
Anong dividendo yun? Anong kumpanya?
Amkara po. It's a dividend declaration by Amkara.
Dividend declaration by Amkara. Ilang beses na ho nagde-declare ng dividendo ang Amkara for the past 25 years?
Hindi ko alam eh.
Hindi nyo rin alam. Pero meron kayong 40 million na pwede i-declare ng dividendo, hindi nyo rin alam saan nanggaling yung 40 million.
Noong time na yon, hindi pa ako ganun ka-involved. Ito lang 2019 po ako na-involved dito sa mga transaction ng...
Kailan mo ito? Kailan po, Mr. Karundang? Kailan?
Originally po kasi talaga, ang father ko po ang nag-aasikaso lahat nito.
Tapos,
Vice Chairman
kailan mo kayo
Rimulya?
nag-take over dito?
Vice Chairman Rimulya,
Mr. Chairman.
muli po pinapalalahanan natin ang Amkara na kayo po ay humarap sa pagdinig na ito upang ilahad po ang inyong nalalaman, ang inyong tunay na nalalaman. Huwag niyo po ibaon sa problema yung sarili ninyo kung kayo'y magsisinungaling lang sa harapan ng joint committee pong ito. Yan po ay isang paalala upang hindi rin sumakit yung inyong ulo, Amkara.
Opo.
Mr. Chairman, I think that the witness is being coached. But anyway, we have already elicited facts necessary to show na ito pong Amkara, isang moro-moro po. Ayun ang nakikita ko. That's the conclusion I'm drawing from it. And I would not anyway waste my time asking more questions on this issue kasi malinaw na ho na the dummy relationship between ABS CBN and Amkara is existing without any iota of doubt. Marami pong salamat, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair,
Mr.
konting
Chairman.
paliwanag lang po.
Mr. Chairman. Go ahead, Honorable Marcoleta.
Sa Amkara pa rin, Mr. Chair, may tatanong lang ilang mga paglilinaw.
Mr. Chair.
He's not allowed.
Yung system na reputation pa. Kailangan i-reboot yung system.
Hearing resumed. Honorable Marcoleta.
Salamat po, Mr. Chair. Mga ilang paglilinaw pa rin po sana kaugnay nitong Amkara, kung nandyan pa po sila. Mr. Karandang, nandyan pa po ba kayo? Konting panahon na lamang po ito.
Nandito pa po.
Nung pong ang ABS CBN hindi pa po nag-divest ng kanyang shares sa Amkara noong January 2019, nireport ninyo sa inyong financial statement na affiliate ninyo ang ABS CBN, hindi po ba? Nung hindi pa sila nag-divest.
Opo.
Meron silang pag-aari na 49%, hindi po ba?
Oh, kasi ano pa yun eh, magkasama pa ang ABS. During that time, di ba, merong 49% ng ABS.
Confirm ko na po sa inyo na talagang affiliate ninyo noon kasi sa batas po kasi pagka ang isang kumpanya ay nagme-may-ari ng 20% o mahigit, affiliate ninyo sila talaga, hindi po ba?
Oh, tama po.
Okay. Kasi po ang hindi namin masyadong maunamaan ay yung sinasabi ng ABS-CBN na bumili sila ng black time nung panahon na yon noon po kasi ang ginagamit pa ninyo is Studio 23. Maliban pa po yung, nung analog pa po ito eh. Nung analog period po, ang pinagamit sa inyo, ay pinagamit niyo sa ABS CBN is Studio 23 pa po. Naalala po ninyo yon.
Tama po yan.
At sa paggamit po ng ABS CBN, hindi po ba totoo na ang ginagamit nilang logo, ABS CBN, hindi po yung logo ng Amcara. Tama po.
Nagkaroon po ng transfer yun eh. Yung Channel 23 to ABS CBN from Ankara.
Mamaya na po yung transfer. Ang sinasabi ko, sa tuwing ginagamit po yung Studio 23, ang ginagamit pong logo, ABS-CBN logo. Alam mo, sikat po yung logo na yun, yung bilog-bilog na iba-ibang kulay. Yung po yun.
Tama po yun. Meron pong ano, yung Studio 23 is branding po.
Wala po kayong logo na ginagamit sa Amcara kung hindi yung logo ng ABS-CBN. Malinaw po ba yun?
Malinaw po.
Ang gumagamit po ng logo sa Studio 23, ABS-CBN, pati po yung equipment at saka pasilidad, ABS-CBN. Tama po ba yun?
Tama po.
Kung ikukumpara po natin sa GMA, kasi kahapon po hindi masagot-sagot na mabuti ito, yung Tape Incorporated, ito po yung producer ng Itbulaga. Ang Itbulaga po ay yung Tape INC, wala po siyang prangkisa. Ang merong prangkisa, ABS-CBN. Pero kayo po, pareho kayong merong prangkisa ng ABS-CBN. Ang Itbulaga po, o yung Tape Incorporated, hindi po siya gumagamit ng sarili niyang logo. Ang ginagamit niya, yung logo ng GMA 7. Hindi po ba ganon, Mr. Karandang?
Tama po yun.
Tama po. Kaya po namin kasi inuulit-ulit ito dahil po sa pagtanggi ng ABS-CBN na yung ganito pong setup nung ginagamit pa po yung Studio 23, black time po kasi ang sinasabi niya. Kahit po natin bali-baligta rin ang mga pangyayari, hindi po black time yun, Mr. Amcara. Mr. Karandang. Ito po ay tinatawag na use of rock. Paggamit ng isang pagmemera, ini-enjoy po niya yung gamit ng isang tao para sa kanyang kapakanan. Yun po yung use of rock. Bawal po kasi yun. Kung re-reviewin po ninyo yung prangkisa ng Amcara, bawal po yung use of rock. Kung babasahin po nyo uli, re-reviewin po ninyo. Ang sabi nga po ni William Shakespeare, Mr. Karandang, a rose by any other name will still be a rose. Sabihin man ng ABS-CBN na ito ay black time, hindi po ganun ang mangyayari. Ang turing po namin yun ay use of rock. Ngayon po, nung ma-divest naman po yung 49%, January 2019. Tinatanong po kanina ni Congressman Boying, ito po kasi yung napakasalimuot sa amin, hindi namin malaman kung anong naging kasunduan ninyo sa pagkabayaran sapagkat inilagay po ang operasyon ng Studio 23 kasi naman doon sa consolidated report naman ng financial statement ng ABS-CBN. Kaya medyo magulo po eh. Pero ang tanong po ganito, noong 2015 po, siguro mga Pebrero, Marso 2015, nung binigyan ng pagkakataon ng National Telecommunications Commission ang ABS-CBN para magkaroon ng test broadcast. Ito po yung demonstration permit na ibinigay ng NTC. Ginamit po yung Channel 43 na po yun, hindi na po Studio 23 dahil magmamigrate na po sila from analog to digital. Tama po yun, Mr. Karandang, di ba?
Tama po.
At kagaya nga po ng sinabi ninyo, Yung transmitter, sa kanila po yun.
Tama po yun. Sila po ang bumili.
Manila po kasi ang ginamit, kaya Channel 23 dahil sa medyo kokonti po kasi yung frequency. So sabi ng NTC, sa inyo namang sariling pagsunod din at saka ang ABS CBN, gagamitin ng Channel 43, pero yun po nakabase hindi sa inyong prangkisa, kundi sa prangkisa ng ABS CBN. Tama po ba yun?
Tama po yun.
At ang prangkisa ng ABS CBN ay nag-expire noong March 4, 2020. Lilinawin lang po namin.
Opo.
Kaya po isinara ang Channel 43. Hindi po dahil sa kung anong bagay. Ito po ang nagiging problema uli. Nagpaikot sila rito na meron naman silang block time. Paano po mangyayari ang block time na sinasabi po ng ABS-CBN sa Channel 43, samantalang kayo po at saka yung Asian Multimedia and Production Company, Inc., nagkaroon na po kayo ng pag-uusap, kung tawagin po ay deed of assignment. Ang totoo po, nagpirmahan na kayo March 12, 2019. Tama po ba yun?
Ang sasagot po si Tony Veloso.
Tama po ba yun na nagkaroon na kayo?
Good afternoon, Your Honors. With regard to Asian Multimedia and Production Incorporated, yes, we entered into a deed of assignment.
Ano naman po, kasi
For 43 and UHF 23 in Cebu,
po,
because we wanted to raise funds, and in fact, file po kami ng petition, joint petition sa NTC, but this has not been approved, so yung consummation hindi pa nangyayari. But we have to have it approved by the NTC, and that's why we went through that process, because we needed to raise funds precisely because we want to augment yung capabilities namin, especially in the regional stations.
Ano po ang pangalan ninyo?
Tony Veloso po, Attorney Tony Veloso po.
Attorney Veloso, ang tinanong ko lang po kung totoong nagkaroon kayo ng deed of assignment on March 12, 2019. Yun lang po yung tinatanong ko eh.
Yes,
Oo,
po.
hindi lang po ang sagot dun eh.
Yes po, Your Honor.
O yan, para madali tayo. At ito pong deed of assignment na ito ay nabanggit do sa NTC case number 2019-041 na kung saan nga inihintay po ninyo na ito'y pagtibayin. Tama po?
Opo.
Kung ganun po, paano ngayon sasabihin ng ABS-CBN na naka-block time na naman siya sa inyo kung ang pag-uusapan ay Channel 43, gayong meron na kayong usapan ng Asian Multimedia Production Company, nasa kanyo na niya i-assign yun? Ano po bang gustong gawin sa amin ng ABS-CBN?
Your Honors, wala pa nga pong approval eh. That's why that's why we were still able to air the block time. We were able to execute the block time arrangement. Otherwise, kung wala na po sa amin yun at na-approvean po yun ng NTC, then hindi na po kami nag-air nung nila.
Kung listen niyo muna kaya yung takip po ninyo para magkaintindihan tayo. Hindi ko po talaga maintindihan yung sagot niyo eh. Kung hindi po kayo naniniwala na a-approvein ng NTC yun, bakit pa kayo nag-file ng petition will be ratified and will be confirmed? Correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, paano ngayon yung sasabihin sa amin ng ABS-CBN na meron na naman block time sa Amkara? Na-assign na ninyo sa ibang...
Oh, then we will have to make adjustments in our agreements, Your Honor. But yun nga, kaya namin ginagawa po yun because we really wanted to raise capital for our regional stations. Kasi ngayon, yung kanina, yung sinasabi nga ni Engineer Karandang, ang pinambayad po niya doon sa ano niya, doon sa stocks ng 49% ng
Tsaka na muna po yun, hindi yun ang tinatanong ko sa inyo eh. Paligoy-ligoy po kasi kayo eh.
inaano ko lang yung 49% kasi came from unrestricted retained earnings, which will be realized nitong pagkatapos itong 2019 audited financial statements.
Attorney Veloso,
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
ang nakikita po namin kasing problema ganito. Pinapaniwala po kami ng ABS CBN, ang block time po ay nandyan pa sa panig ng AMCARA. Sa amin pong palagay, sapagkat na-assign na po ninyo yon at naghihintay na lang kayo ng approval, mawawala na po sa inyo dahil inassign na po ninyo sa Asian Multimedia and Production Company. Ito po ang nakikita namin konting parang salamangka na naman. Hindi po ba sino po ang may-ari ng Asian Multimedia and Production Company?
Sila Mr. Freddy Garcia po.
Mr. Freddy Garcia, hindi po ba yan dating director ng ABS CBN?
Wala na po ako nung I don't know what his position, Your Honor.
Executive Vice President ng ABS CBN.
Yes, once upon a time.
Yung nakikita namin, Attorney Veloso. Counsel din po ba kayo dati ng ABS CBN?
Long time ago, Your Honor. I was already in ABS, GMA, MTRCB, so 90s. 90s pa po.
Okay, seasoned lawyer po pala kayo. Ito po kasi, ang AMCARA franchise will expire on July 16. Ito po, itong July. So ano na po yun, Mr. Chair? July 2.
Your Honor, July.
Hindi, July 16 itong sa AMCARA.
Your Honor, hindi po sa July because yung basihan po yung publication.
Congressman Coleta, sa paglilinaw po ng chairman na ito sa committee secretariat ay napag-alaman natin na ang publication ay naganap ng November. Kaya po ang eksaktong ang buwan po ng pag-expire ng prangkisa ng AMCARA ay mangyayari pa sa Nobyembre nitong taong ito. Congressman Marcoleta.
Nakalista po kasi doon sa brief na binigay po ng ating committee, July 16, ang kanilang under Republic Act 8135. So alin man ang mangyayari, itong taon din po mag-expire siguro ang prangkisa. Samantalang ang Asian Multimedia mag-expire po, Mr. Chair, 2029. Ibig sabihin, may mga 8 taon mula ngayon. So parang plan C na naman ito. Mula sa AMCARA, pwede na naman silang lumundag sa Multimedia and Production Company sapagkat meron pang natitirang mga 8 taon ang prangkisa na yun. Ito po kasi ang napakahirap nating pinag-uusapan mula pa eh. Parang may mga smoke screen kasi silang ginagawa. Parang takipan dito, takip dito. Kayo po yung nag-a-apply kasi Mr. ABS CBN ng prangkisa. Mula pa sana nung umpisa, naging maliwanag na tayo rito. Klarong-klaro. Nagsimula siguro tayo sa pag-amin ng pagkakamali natin from day 1 hanggang ngayon. Hindi po ganun ang nakita namin eh. Sakala po ba ninyo ang kongresong ito ay hindi reasonabling kongreso? This Congress is comprised of several moving parts. 300 people on in all. Meron kami sariling pananaw bawat isa. Ngunit pwede kaming magkaisa kapag nakita namin na hindi kayo pumunta rito para humingi ng prangkisa sa isang malinis na kaparaanan. He who comes to equity must come with clean hands. Pare-parehong abogado, yun po ang alam nating doktrina. Hindi po yan ang nakikita namin. Salamat po, Mr. Veloso, at sa ibang subject na po tayo. Salamat po, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Congressman Marcoleta.
Mr. Chairman.
Nasaan po yung nagsasalita? ABS CBN, yes.
No. Excuse me. I withdraw that, Mr. Chairman.
Wala po kayong ipapahayag, attorney?
None, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, maraming salamat po. Ang susunod po na magtatanong ay si Congressman Mark Go at binibigyan po siya ng karagdagang 15 minuto. Congressman Go, maaari na po kayong magsimula ng inyong pagtatanong.
Marami pong salamat, Chairman Alvarez, sa po ng ating mga kaibigan na nandito ngayon sa plenaryo at sa Zoom. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Gusto ko pong tanungin ang CFO ng ABS CBN. Andiyan po ba siya?
Nandito po ako, Your Honor.
Ang una ko pong tanong, yung pong total revenue nyo for the years 2016, 17, 18, and 19. Magkano po ang inyong total revenue before yung cost of goods sold? Yung total po.
Your Honor, I will describe po yung sa ABS-CBN Corporation or parent company only. So yung revenue po namin before any expenses in the years from 20 anong year?
Taon po. 5 taon. 2016, 17, 18, 19.
Revenue is 21.8 billion. Nung 2016 po, it's 24.5 billion. Nung 2017, it's 22.8 billion. 2018, 22.8 billion. And 2019, it's 25.4 billion po.
So on the average, it's about 22.5 billion for the last 5 years on a yearly basis.
Thereabouts po yep. Opo.
Ngayon, dun sa cost of goods sold ninyo, on the average for the last 5 years, magkano ang cost of goods sold ninyo?
On the average po, it ranges from 20.6 to about 24 point. So kung 22 it would average po to about 21 billion po siguro.
21 billion. So ang inyong gross income is about more than 1 billion.
The average for the 5 years, it would be a little over 1 billion po. There was a year po na we had loss.
Okay. Ngayon, out of this, magkano ang taxes, gross, yung taxes na binayaran nyo bilang isang korporasyon? Yung corporate income tax on a yearly basis for the last 5 years?
For income tax po, for the last 5 years po, for ABS-CBN is 2015 po, we paid 555 million. 2016, we paid 758 million. 2017, we paid 195 million. 2018, 164 million. It does not include po the unapplied creditable withholding tax that we paid in advance through the withholding tax system of the government.
Okay. So that's the average gross corporate income tax that you have paid. What about the withholding tax of your employees, and this amount actually was remitted to the government? So magkano ang yearly withholding tax ng inyong mga empleyado?
Ang withholding tax po namin ay dalawang components. Isa pong withholding tax on compensation at saka po expanded withholding tax. I don't have the total, but I can eyeball it po to get the total for the two. Noong 2015 po, it's about 1.8 billion. Noong 2016 po, it's about 2.2 billion. Noong 2017 po, it's about 2 billion. Noong 2018 po, it's about 1.5 billion. At ito naman pong yung 2019 naman po, it's about 1.7 billion.
Now, in addition to this, with your expenditures, you are paying, when you buy items from your suppliers, you are paying the so-called value-added tax.
Opo, we pay value-added tax po.
On the same time periods, magkano ang nabayaran yung value-added tax on items that you have bought from your suppliers?
Your Honor, what I have po is already the net, which is the output tax payable versus our creditable input taxes. I don't have po the original amount of the input tax. If I can share po with you, if it's okay with you, I'll share with you the VAT payments po na ginawa namin net of our input taxes.
Please do so.
For billion, and then 2019 po, it's about 1.3 billion. In total po for the last 5 years, that is 5 billion po.
Okay. Now, if you look at your FS, what are your biggest cost items in your financial statement? Let's just look at the last year's performance. Ano ba yung mga 5 biggest cost items that you have in your operating expenses?
Your Honor, hanapin ko lang po yung file ko for that. Your Honor, the 5 highest components po of our cost would be our production cost, our cost of sales, which is actually the cost of the products that we sold, and then our general and administrative expenses, and our employee cost, Your Honor.
Ilang percent yung general administrative cost at saka yung salaries and wages of your employees?
No, Your Honor, if you would allow me po, I'll ask my colleague to compute for the percentages, and then I can get back to you on it, sir.
Okay, okay. I'll have another question. One of your companies, this is the Big Dipper. It is registered under PESA under Republic Act 7916. And under this law, it provides incentives to companies that will put up their operations within the ambit of this law. And you pay taxes, it's 5% on gross income in lieu of the corporate tax of, let's say, 30 or 32 or 34%. If you look at the last 5 years, magkano ang binayaran ninyo ng Big Dipper under Republic Act 7916?
We from yung 2015 po, it's what you call a transition year from a income tax holiday to 5%. So medyo mas mababa po yung 2015. So nung 2015 po, we paid 4.4 million pesos. This represents the 5% income tax. And then 2016 po, 115 million. 2017 po, 120 million. 2018, we paid 119 million. And in 2020, we paid 120 million. So this is more or less po close to about 600 million for the 5 years.
How many percent did you save in terms of taxes with this company registered with PESA?
Your Honor, the savings on the taxes po is maybe theoretical because you would probably compare the 30% tax versus the gross receipts tax of 5%. But because po by virtue of being a PESA registered enterprise, we enjoy po the 5% tax rate. So the difference po, kung simple computation, is about 25% gross up. Pero po, like we said yesterday, hindi po siya as applicable. Kasi po tax neutral po siya even if it's going to be inside ABS CBN.
All of these financial statements and the ITR that you have submitted with the BIR, I would like to find out, during the last 5 years, have you been audited by the Bureau of Internal Revenue? And you tell us the findings of the BIR, if there are any, as far as the audit that they conducted on the financial position and statements of the company, of ABS CBN.
For the last 5 years po for ABS CBN Corporation, ABS CBN Corporation has been audited on an annual basis by the Bureau of Internal Revenue, as also presented by the BIR yesterday. In terms of their assessment on an annual basis, they would see po certain differences between what we've paid and what they've assessed. And in most cases po, those are differences po in or omissions or errors by the company which relates to withholding taxes or difference po in how a tax should be applied. Those were settled po with the BIR on an annual basis. And as a matter of fact po, every year, as a requirement po when we deal with government agencies, we actually get po a BIR tax clearance. Every year po nakakakuha po kami ng tax clearance at para po sa isang taxpayer, ang tax clearance po ay ang, I would say, bukod tanging papel na manggagaling sa BIR na magsasabi po na ang isang taxpayer, isa man po itong individual or korporasyon, that they paid po all their taxes. Para po siyang diploma ng college na nagpapatunay na natapos mo. Sa amin naman po, nagpapatunay na wala na po kami pag-uutang sa BIR at ayos po lahat ng pagbabayad namin.
So nabayaran nyo lahat ng dapat bayaran, and the audit of the BIR shows that you have complied, you have paid all the taxes, and that the BIR has given you the tax clearance for the last 5 years on a yearly basis.
Tama po yan. It even extends beyond 5 years. From what I have po from 2010 to 20... yung pinaka-recent po is for the as of certain period of 2019. I think it's February of 2019. Or
Can we, Mr. Chair, can we ask the BIR to confirm the statement of ABS CBN that they were given tax clearance during the last 5 years and even before the last 5 years? Do we have somebody from BIR?
Chair, Congressman Go is asking if there's somebody from the BIR, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Chairman Alvarez, the BIR is being called. Do we have assistant?
Ito nakikita ko sa Zoom si Mr. Mapoy.
We see you, Mr. Map. Sorry.
Mr. Mapoy, you are recognized.
Mr. Commander, after taxpayer service.
This is Assistant Commissioner Cabantac. Tama po ba?
No, sir. Division Chief, sir.
Division Chief.
After taxpayer service, sir.
Okay, have you already taken your oath?
Yes, sir.
Okay, permission.
Kung Marco, pwede na po kayo tumuloy.
Yeah, I'd like to repeat my question. ABS CBN has stated that you had audited their financial statements for the last 5 years or even more than 5 years, and you have issued tax clearance year to year to the ABS CBN. Could you confirm this, our guest from BIR?
The fact is, sir, we were able to conduct audit for the past number of years. What I have on record is 2016, 17, 18, sir. And currently, we have issued the 2019 letters of authority to investigate the tax liability if there is of ABS CBN Corporation, sir.
What about the 2016, 17, 18? Have you issued tax clearance after the audit that you have conducted?
Maybe, sir, I'm not private. I'm not sure of the issuance of termination letter, sir. I'll still have to check, sir.
Mm-hmm. ABS CBN, do we have a copy of the tax clearance issued by BIR to ABS CBN?
Yes, Your Honor, we submitted it to the committee.
Okay, so it's in the committee, and now you will be audited on your 2019 financial statement.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, in our budget hearing for the 2020 budget, which we have approved, the proposed budget at that time was 4.3 trillion. Out of this budget that we approved in the 2020 budget, we have a budget deficit of about 600 billion. But our target borrowing actually for this year is about 1 trillion. And the excess borrowing from the deficit of 600 billion will be borrowed from foreign and local institutions. Now, I would like to find out from the BIR as well as from ABS CBN, how much is the overall contributions that you have, that you do, contribute to the economy of the Philippines on a yearly basis? In terms of
yung yearly payment nila. Yung yearly payment. Yung yearly payment.
As far as Your Honor,
baka naka-mute pa tayo.
Naka-mute ba?
Tingnan mo kung naka-mute.
Hindi.
Sige, go.
As per BIR record, sir, for the past 2016 to 2019, ABS CBN was able to contribute a total of 15,382,423,364 pesos and 16 centavos to be exact, sir. Your Honor.
That is the contribution of ABS CBN.
Yes, sir. From 2016 to 2019, the total taxes paid and remitted taxes coming from the withholding of the employees and talent, sir, included everything, sir.
Including the corporate income tax,
Yes,
the value-added tax,
doc stamps and other taxes.
other taxes.
Yes,
And,
sir.
this is a significant. If you look at the different companies in Metro Manila and probably in the entire country, how do you rank ABS CBN? Well,
Honorable Mark Go, we cannot hear you.
Ranking.
Meron. Yung ranking. Bigyan mo kay Joe. 63, something.
Sir, to answer your question, sir, for the year 2016, ABS-CBN was ranked number 65 as one of the top taxpayer, and then for 2017, ABS-CBN again was ranked as number 275 top corporate taxpayers, and in 2018, ABS-CBN was ranked number 339 top taxpayer, sir.
okay, thank you. So, if and when that Congress will not approve the extension of the franchise of ABS CBN, this is what we're gonna lose in this country. And this is very important, considering the fact that the situation right now, when many companies are closing, many companies are out of business, if we're gonna lose this contribution in the succeeding years because of our failure, or because we will not, it will not be approved, meaning the franchise, I think this is another problem that we will encounter. In our meeting this morning in the Economic Affairs of Committee, this is one of the issues that we raised. What we would like to do is to stimulate the economy, and one way of stimulating is by ensuring that those who are in the country doing business now should continue and even strengthen their business. And that's what worries me in this particular situation. And I think in order to do the service to the country, I think it's high time that we consider favorably the application of ABS-CBN. This amount might not be as big as the others, but definitely it will have an impact to our country. The contributions that they have made will have a multiplier effect to the entire country. And I know that BIR is now doing its best to raise more taxes, considering that 2021 will be a very challenging year for all of us. We talked with Secretary Carl Chua, and he mentioned that the forecast for this year, in terms of growth of our GDP, it's negative 3%. So you can just imagine the impact of this if we will not approve the franchise of ABS-CBN. So, Mr. Chair, this is all what I have. And I asked our colleagues in the House to highly consider the application of ABS-CBN for another 25 years in their franchise. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chairman.
The Honorable Barsaga.
Just a very important clarification and inquiry from the BIR.
With the indulgence of the Honorable Alvarez.
Sige po, Kong Mike.
Good afternoon, Regional Director. I would just like to be clarified about the legal significance of a tax clearance. Kasi ang sinasabi natin dito, at totoo naman, tax clearance was issued by the Bureau of Internal Revenue to ABS CBN Corporation. Yung bang tax clearance na inisyu nyo sa ABS CBN Corporation, conclusive, nabayad sila sa mga taxes and the BIR could no longer investigate ABS CBN for the periods covered by the tax clearance issued.
General Ruiz, if I may be allowed to speak, sir. Good afternoon, Sir Congressman. Sir, with respect to the tax clearance, they may be referring to, you might be referring to the tax clearance that we usually issue when the taxpayers request for a clearance. We verify if the taxpayer has a pending delinquent accounts. If there is none, we usually issue a certificate of tax clearance, sir. With respect to your second question as to the investigation of taxpayer, despite the issuance of a tax clearance, there is still a possibility that we can conduct a second audit, second audit in cases of fraud, sir.
So para lamang sa kalaman ng ating mga taxpayer, kahit na nag-issue ng tax clearance ang Bureau of Internal Revenue, that is not conclusive in favor of the taxpayer to whom the tax clearance was issued. Tama po ba?
Directly, sir, if there is a fraud issue, you're correct, sir.
Based on the record, there was a case na yung BIR nag-assess against ABS-CBN, nagkaroon ng kaso sa Court of Tax Appeals at nagkaroon din ng compromise agreement during that particular year in spite of the fact that a tax clearance has already been issued by the Bureau of Internal Revenue for the year covering the assessment that was made. Tama po ba?
I'm not privy to the approval or of the compromise agreement, sir. So I have a limited knowledge that, sir.
Gaano ka katagal ka nang connected sa Bureau of Internal Revenue?
30 years, sir.
30 years. At sa loob ng 30 taon ng iyong panunungkulan at pagsaserbisyo sa Bureau of Internal Revenue, may na-encounter ka bang kaso ng isang individual or corporation ay inimbestigahan muli ng Bureau of Internal Revenue kahit na mayroong tax clearance na napa-issue?
Yes, sir. For the information of the body, before I was assigned to the district officers, I was assigned with the Tax Fraud Division, now the National Investigation Division. So even if in cases of fraudulent scheme employed wherein to evade taxes, although
for the corporation in the year when the tax clearance was issued. Tama ba yung aking conclusion?
Tama, sir. Because maybe during the audit, hindi po nakita yung scheme employed by a particular entity. And in the process, nakapag-issue ng clearance, but time goes, may nakita tayong tawag dito, fraudulent scheme during the process, and pwede pong i-revisit po yung audit or mag-issue ng letter of authority to conduct a second audit, sir.
And so from the legal viewpoint, a tax clearance is only a prima facie or disputable presumption that taxes were properly paid by the taxpayer to whom the tax clearance was issued. It is not conclusive that taxes were properly paid.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Thank you very much for that clarification.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Barsaga, for that honorable, that very educational exchange that you had. Mr. Chairman, Congressman Chairman Alvarez.
Kong Defensor. Ang next na po natin ay si Congressman Ron Salo, na nandito rin po siya sa Zoom. Congressman Salo, you have the floor.
Maraming salamat po, Chairman. Pagtatanong lang po ako sa Amkara, mga ilang clarifications lang po.
Go ahead, Consalo. Nandiyan pa po ang Amkara.
Maraming salamat po, Chairman.
Ay, teka lang. Amkara.
May we request the representatives of Amkara to respond to the Honorable Salo. Yes, Amkara is recognized. Go ahead, Honorable Salo.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Mr. Karandang, magandang hapon po sa inyo. Hindi ko po alam kung natanong na po yun nung iba, itong itatanong ko, pero simple lang po, clarification lang po ito. So ano po yung arrangement po ninyo ulit with ABS CBN Corporation?
Ang arrangement po namin sa ABS CBN, black time po.
Black timer. Nabasa ko nga po yung inyong arrangement, yung agreement po ninyo. Pero clarification lang po, ilang oras per day po yung black timer arrangement po ninyo?
Pwede pong si Tony Veloso po ang sasagot.
Sige po.
Your Honor, yung block time arrangement po namin sa kanila is 21 hours per day.
21 hours per day. Ilang linggo po ito? 7 days a week?
Yes po.
7 days a week?
From Sunday to Saturday, yes.
Sunday to Saturday.
Yes,
tapos ilang buwan po ito?
Annual po. 1 year, may pinirmahan kami ng 2019 nung ako na po at 2020.
Kailan pa po ito nag-start na ganun yung arrangement na ilang taon na po yon?
I wouldn't know before the divestment because sa 2019, 2020 lang po na naging signatory po ako. So I don't know if
who would be possible to know? Sino pong possible na nakakalam kung ilang taon na po yun?
Maybe ABS can answer that because wala pa po ako nung time na yan.
Attorney Veloso.
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
Someone from ABS CBN who would like to reply?
Mr. Chair, maaari po bang si Attorney Maxim Uy po yung baka
Attorney
makatulong po?
Maxine Uy. Yes, Attorney, go ahead. With the indulgence of the Honorable Salo, ABS CBN would be replying to some of the queries. Go ahead, Attorney.
Mr. Chairman, because we heard that the question is of Congressman Salo as to who would be able to answer the question. So ABS CBN can answer the question since it was a party to the block time agreement, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Sige po. Pakisagot na lang po, ilang taon na po bali na ganun po yun?
Go ahead, ABS CBN.
The block time agreement began in 1996, Mr. Chairman.
1996, from the time that the franchise of Amkara was granted by Congress. Tama ba yun?
From the time that Amkara started broadcasting, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. From the time, of course, that was the time that they were granted franchise. Nagbago po ba yung arrangement, yung agreement ever since? Hindi naman.
It's always been a block time agreement, Mr. Chairman.
From 1996 up to present. Okay. So pupunta po ako doon sa specifics. So for the past almost 25 years, 21 hours out of 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 12 days a month in the last 25 years. Anong ginagawa mo, Mr. Amkara? Ano pong ginagawa po ninyo doon sa remaining 3 hours? Anong oras po yung naiwan po sa inyo?
Mr. Chairman, are you asking ABS CBN?
No, I'm asking Amkara.
Ano po yun? Since isa lang po ang nakakausap namin sa block time, so nagsa-sign off po yun.
Nagsa-sign off. So usually yung 21 hours, anong oras nag-start at anong oras natatapos?
Ang normal sign-on siguro po, depende ho sa programming ko ng ABS CBN.
basically sila na po yung nagde-determine.
Opo.
Okay. So yung 3 hours na naiwan po, Mr. Rodrigo, basically signing off na yon.
Opo.
Okay.
Wala na.
So I suppose ito yung mga oras na oras na ng gabi, tama ba yon?
Opo.
So nagpo-produce ba kayo ng shows ninyo o basically lahat na si ABS CBN?
Sa ngayon po, lahat po sa ABS CBN po yung mga programa.
Bakit sa ngayon po? Akala ko po ba 25 years ganun na rin po yung arrangement?
Kasi meron din kami plano in the future. Kaya ako, nung nag-divest po ang ABS CBN, may plano na po kami. Kasi sa digital po, meron pong opportunity na maglagay ng sariling programa. Kasi iisa yun.
Okay. Yes. Malinaw po sa akin. Pero from 1996 up to present, hindi naman po kayo nag-produce ng any shows po ninyo?
Hindi pa po.
Hindi pa. So basically, it has always been ABS CBN ay nag-produce ng kanilang shows doon. At hindi po kayo... And parang exclusive ata yung inyong ano po sa kanila. Tama po ba? Sila lang po yung... Kasi from the time 1996 hanggang ngayon, sila lang po yung nag-black timer, quote-unquote, sa inyo.
Tama po yun. Sa kanila lang po kami sila lang po naka-black time sa amin.
Okay. Kaninong equipment po yung ginagamit?
Nung pong analog, equipment po ng Angkara ang ginagamit. Pero po nung nag-digital na, since naipaliwanag ko kanina na in-award yung frequency ng Channel 43 sa ABS-CBN nung test broadcast, yun ang ginamit na transmitter. Transmitter po ng ABS-CBN yun. Kasi during that time, yun ang decision ng NTC.
Anong year po yun? So, do you mean to say na nagkaroon po kayo ng equipment din? Nag-purchase po ang Angkara for a certain point in time?
Sa digital, hindi pa ho. Nung analog. Yun
yung analog. So nung nag-apply po kayo sa Congress noon, mayroon po kayong transmitter, may analog po kayo?
Yes, meron po.
Okay. Pero after that, hindi na po kayo, basically si ABS-CBN na po lahat?
Yung sa digital po, si ABS-CBN po ang bumili.
Anong year po yun nag-start?
I think 2015, nung simula nung test broadcast.
Simula nung test broadcast. Pero maliban doon sa binabanggit niyo yung transmitter and equipment po ninyo, anong meron pa po kayo? Yung Angkara?
Basically po talagang transmitter po yan, saka yung antenna na ginagamit po para mag-broadcast po.
Para sa pag-broadcast. Pero all the equipment, yung pag-produce nila ng shows po nila doon, sa ABS-CBN po yun?
Sa ABS-CBN po yun sa pag-produce ng programa.
Okay. So, what other source of income yung Angkara? May other source of income po ba kayo o lahat po yan nanggagaling po sa rentals, quote-unquote, bayad ng ABS-CBN?
Si Tony po ang sasagot.
Hindi po.
Sa ngayon po, wala pong ibang source ng income.
Walang ibang source of income. I suppose yung pagsabi po ninyong sa ngayon po, ibig sabihin from the very start, kasi lahat naman po yun, since the beginning, nililist po nila. Tama ba yun? Quote-unquote, black timer po sila. Not least, they're black timer pursuant to agreement.
Pakiulit po.
From the time, so basically from 1996 up to present, from the time that you were granted the franchise by the government, yung source of income po ninyo, yung nanggagaling doon sa binabayad, doon sa payment po ng ABS-CBN.
Tama po yan.
Tama. Ano po yung activities na ginagawa po ng Angkara other than to receive payment from ABS-CBN?
Ayun po, yung transmitter operation po.
Transmitter operation. Okay. So ilan po yung personnel po ninyo doon? May personnel po ba kayo?
Sa transmitter po, ang ginawa po namin, Naka-outsource po sa third party.
Naka-outsource sa third party. Sinong kausap po doon?
ESI po.
ESI. No, I mean, sinong nakipag-usap? Si Amcara o si ABS CBN na?
Ano po yung tanong, Your Honor?
Yung pag-handle po ng transmitter ng Amcara. Tinanong ko po kanina kung ano po yung activity na ginagawa ng Amcara at sinabi po ni Mr. Karandang, basically yung pag-asikaso po ng transmitter.
Okay.
So, sa pag-asikaso ng transmitter, sinabi rin po nila na in-outsource na po nila ito.
Yes,
So,
po,
sino pong kausap po doon sa outsourcing na yon?
Your Honor, I'm talking about 2019-2020. Ang kausap po namin ngayon is TSI, which is the Transmission Specialists Incorporated. So we have a contract with them to operate and maintain our transmitters.
Mr. Chairman,
Sino may kakontrata po?
the contracts themselves.
Yes. Mr. Chairman, Honorable Salo, the Honorable Renewal is requesting for the contracts if we can have the documents and the payments
Made by Mr. Karandang to the outsourcing company, if it's in the form of checks, the receipts, and the taxes paid on these transactions.
Okay, ang Kara is requested to submit the documents as stated in your statement. So, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Chairman. So basically, pakisama po, Chairman, ma-manifest ko po na hingi rin po sana tayo ng kopya nung kanilang kontrata with the third party.
Yes, Your Honor, we will provide the copy of the contracts, 2019-2020, the contracts I signed, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Pero prior to that, Mr. Chair, Mr. Karandang, sino po yung nag-handle po nung sa transmitter po ninyo?
Well, ganun din po. Naka-outsource po yun. Sa ABS CBN po ang sasagot nung kung paano po yung naging arrangement. Kasi
Bakit po ABS CBN po yung sasagot dun sa arrangement? Sila rin po ba yung signatory po doon?
During that time, kaya nga po
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, may I request to be recognized?
Yes, Attorney Uy is recognized for ABS CBN. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. During the period when ABS CBN had 49% shareholdings in Amcara, there were officers of Amcara, were also officers of ABS CBN, and the maintenance and operation of the transmitters were also outsourced to Transmission Specialists Incorporated.
So outsource po. So basically, sino po nag-handle? ABS CBN na po yung nag-handle at the time?
No, Mr. Chairman. It was the third-party service provider.
Sir, yung third party. Pero sino pong kausap at the time?
The third-party service provider, Mr. Chairman.
No, on behalf of Amcara.
The officer of Amcara? Is that the question, Mr. Chairman?
So officers of Amcara po ba yung kausap po ng third party?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Karandang?
Yes, sir.
So kung yung transmitter, basically naka-outsource po yan, tinanong ko po kayo kanina kung may personnel po kayo doon. So basically wala po kayong personnel po doon, I suppose, dahil yung transmitter naman naka-outsource po sa iba.
Tama po yun.
Tama. May yung mga guards, sinong kumukuha ng guards?
Kasama ho yun dun sa ano kasi yung nga naka-outsource siya. Pati yung guards, naka-ano rin yun.
Naka-outsource din.
Opo.
So, tama po ba yung intindi ko na basically, ang inaasikaso nyo na lang, inaantay po ninyo, yung activity po ninyo, basically wala dahil wala naman po kayong employees doon, wala naman po kayong personnel, except yung third party, pero hindi nyo naman po personnel ang mga yon. Hindi nyo empleyado yung mga yon, kundi third party sila. Tama ba? So, ang inaantay nyo lang po, basically, yung activity ng AMCARA would be to receive yung fees from this particular agreement with ABS CBN. Tama ba yon?
Your Honor, yung when we're talking about now, no, yung 2019 nung nag-divesting, that is the direction we want to take is precisely to have our own technical heads to supervise those in the on the ground sa regions, no, so that we can be sure that the service being given and the maintenance being given to us in accordance with our contracts. Ganun rin po ganun na po.
Maraming salamat po. So yun po yung plano po ninyo, tama po ba? Doon sa narinig ko po sa sinabi po ninyo.
That is part of my mandate, Your Honor, when I was engaged for ABNI or AMCARA.
Opo. Yun po yung plano po ninyo. Nasunod po ba yon? Nagawa po ba yon?
Yes, that's why, Your Honor, we have yung agreement nga now is that we have a direct agreement with the TSI. And then, ang pinag-uusapan namin ngayon,
prior doon sa binabanggit ko po kanina, di po ba from 1996 to at present?
I think ABS CBN na makakasagot noon kasi wala pa po ako noon, Your Honor. Pasensya na po.
Kailan nga po ba kayo dumating?
2019 po, Your Honor. January 2019, Your Honor.
January 2019. Okay.
Yes, po.
Pero hanggang ngayon, wala pa naman po kayong personnel po doon, ano? May personnel ba kayo na nag-handle sa...
Meron yung doon sa nung pinag-uusapan nga namin doon sa contract, yung yung personnel who will be assigned there will be into, dapat nga makikita kami this during the nagkaroon lang ng pandemic, but that is part of our agenda to talk about who will be supervising from their end and also from our end, Your Honors.
Okay. So yun po yung, kaya ko nga po lilinaw sa inyo na yun po yung plano po ninyong gawin. Kaya lang, because of the pandemic, I suppose, nagkaroon ng lockdown, hindi po ito natuloy. Tama ba yun?
Yes, Your Honors. I was supposed to visit all the regional stations and assess manpower and equipment. Pero hopefully, matapos na so we can pursue our plans and so we can sit down and planning.
Opo. Napakaganda po ninyong plano po ninyo, but I suppose prior to this thing, hanggang ngayon, dahil hindi pa po nangyayari po yung plano po ninyo, all the things na binanggit po ninyo kanina, ang nag-handle po nito yung ABS CBN at saka yung third party. Tama po yun, ano?
Hindi ko po alam yung 1996 and I cannot...
Yes. Nonetheless, kung hindi niyo po masasagot, sagutin ni Mr. Karandang.
Your Honor, I think ABS is the best, but...
Si Mr. Karandang ang nagre-represent sa AMCARA. That's the reason why I wanted to talk to him.
Okay po.
Opo. So, yung binabanggit po ninyo kanina, so ever since, wala pong employee yung AMCARA po doon.
Wala po.
Wala po. Hanggang ngayon, hindi nangyari kasi may plano po sana si attorney, kaya lang hindi pa po nangyayari hanggang ngayon dahil they were prevented from doing that because of the lockdown, I suppose.
Yes po.
Yes. So that remains to be a plan. So basically, ulitin ko, doon sa tanong ko kanina, isa-summarize po natin, 21 hours a day, 7 days a week, 12 months a year, for the past almost 25 years now, basically si ABS CBN po yung nandun. At the same time, wala po kayo empleyado po na nag-handle po doon, lahat po ng shows sila lahat ang nag-handle. Yung 3 hours na window time, that's precisely only for the signing off. Then the following, sila rin po nagpapatakbo po noon, so lahat po sa kanila. So, sa tingin po ninyo, tama ba yung tawag po natin dito na black timer?
Black timer po.
Black timer. Ito po yung tawag po ninyo, no? Black timer. Pero, are you familiar sa legal interpretation o legal meaning po ng assignment?
Hindi po.
Hindi eh. Ang ganito pong kanyang sinasabi, ano po, sa Black's Law Dictionary, sabi niya, the act by which one person transfers to another or causes to vest in that other the whole of the right, interest, or property which he has in any reality or personality in possession or in action or any share, interest, or subsidiary estate therein. So lumalabas, based dito sa definition po ng Black's Law Dictionary, exactly parang yung binabanggit po ninyo na black timer, hindi po swak actually rito, kundi mas malapit-lapit po itong definition po ng sinasabi niya sa Black's Law Dictionary on assignment. Ito naman din po yung sinasabi po, kung di kayo familiar, sa definition naman po ng tinatawag na use of rank. Use of rank under Title 6, Article 562 ng Civil Code. Sabi niya, use of rank gives a right to enjoy the property of another with the obligation of preserving its form and substance unless the title constituting it or the law otherwise provides. So, ang tanong ko nga po sa inyo, ano exactly yung right na mayroon po kayo na naiwan? Other than to wait doon po sa tinatawag po natin na payment po nila sa inyo because the entirety of it nasa kanila na po. For the past almost 25 years, walang puknat po yun, dire-diretso lang po yun. Ngayon, tatanungin ko po kayo, Mr. Karandang, familiar pa po ba kayo doon sa terms ng ibinigay po sa inyo yung franchise?
Opo.
Familiar? Ito po yung kanyang sinasabi sa Section 11. Sabi niya, sale, lease, transfer, use of rank, etc. The grantee shall not lease, transfer, grant the use of rank of, nor sell, nor assign it this franchise or the rights and privileges acquired there under to any person, firm, company, corporation, or other commercial or legal entity, nor shall the controlling interest in the grantee be transferred to any such person, such private person, firm, company, corporation, or entity without the prior approval of the Congress of the Philippines. Any person or entity to which this franchise is sold, transferred, or assigned shall be subject to all the same conditions, terms, restrictions, and limitations of this act. Bago po ako magtapos, last na po yung tanong ko po, did you seek a congressional approval doon sa inyo pong arrangement? This so-called black timer, wherein basically it's the complete possession and lahat na po ng management ang nag-handle po yung ABS CBN.
May I answer po, Your Honor?
I'm just asking yes or no, so please, I'm not asking for an explanation. I'm just asking for a yes or no.
No, because it's not needed po, Your Honor.
Okay. So I suppose yun po yung sinasabi ninyo, despite the fact that everything, the terms of the arrangement, it's not by how we're going to term or call the arrangement, it's actually the essence of that arrangement. And the essence of the arrangement is basically everything has been assigned to ABS CBN, and yet AMCARA did not request for congressional approval. And I suppose, ang sinasabi rin po niya dito that particular conditions would also apply to the one na it has been transferred to. With that, Mr. Chair, maraming salamat po. Wala na po akong itatanong.
May I respond, Your Honor? May I respond, Your Honor?
Chair,
okay na po ako. Mr. Chair, okay na po ako. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Congressman Salo.
May I respond briefly?
Sige, short lang po.
Okay. Yung block time agreement po, ever since, ina-allow po yan ng KBP. I was president and chairman also of the Standards Authority, and we have rules and regulations governing block time agreements. And these agreements are usual in the broadcasting industry po. And it is not a use of rank, Your Honor. We stand by that, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Next na po na mag-interpellate, the Congressman Mike Defensor. Kong Mike.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, actually po, sana hindi na ako magtatanong, but this was raised by some of the members of the Committee on Ways and Means. So kung maaari po, matanong ko ulit tungkol po dito sa Big Dipper. Whoever from the ABS-CBN group can answer. Ito pong Big Dipper in 2017, focus lang po ako sa isang taon para hindi po tayo komplikado. Nagkaroon po kayo ng cash dividends ng 2.5 billion. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ito po, hindi po nagkaroon ng tax dahil transfer naman po from Big Dipper doon po sa ABS CBN Corporation.
Tama po, Your Honor.
Kung ito po'y titingnan natin, ang tax ninyong binayaran, 120 million at the time.
Tama po, Your Honor.
Can you kindly speak on?
Tama po, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Sarado. Ngayon po, ito pong 2.4 billion na to, yung 120 million is actually 5% of 2.4 billion. Yung 5% po ay yung inyong tax.
Yes po.
At kung hindi po nakaregister ang Big Dipper, doon sa kita na 2.4 billion, kung ibabatay po natin to sa corporate income tax, ang dapat pong binabayaran nyo is more or less 800 million in taxes.
Tama po yung mathematical computation, Your Honor.
Yes, thank you. So, Mr. Chairman, ito po'y katulad na banggit ko, syempre tinitingnan nila paano yung nangyari dito. And may we know in the year 2016, magkano po ang taxes na binayaran ni Big Dipper?
For income tax, Your Honor, we paid 115.2 million.
150 million.
115.
I'm sorry, 115. So more or less, nasa vicinity ng mga 2.3 billion ang kinita ng Big Dipper. 2018 po, magkano binayaran yung tax?
We paid 119 million, Your Honor.
119 million. So again, more or less in the vicinity of about 2.4 billion ang kinita ni Big Dipper.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Thank
Tama
you.
po yun. It's about, tama po, Your Honor.
2019, magkano po kinita ni Big Dipper? Oo, tax na lang po na binayaran nyo sa pesa.
2019 po ang kinita niya ay 2 billion. Ang tax na binayaran po niya ay 112 million, Your Honor.
112 million. So
112.4.
consistently po, every year, you are in the vicinity of 700 to 800 million per year kung ito pong kumpanya ng Big Dipper ay hindi nakaregister sa PESA.
Had it been not registered and approved by PESA, the tax rate that will be applicable for a regular corporation is 30% and the computation po at 30% is correct.
And more or less, government should have earned about 4 billion for the past 4 years. No, I'm sorry, 3 point something billion kung ito po ay hindi registered at kinompute sa 30% ng tax.
Had it not been PESA registered, tama po, that would have been the taxes that was paid.
Ngayon po, sisimplihan ko po, Mr. Sarado, yung kwento para ho maintindihan ng ating mga kababayan. Ako po ay distributor ng lamesa. At ako rin ho ang may-ari ng Carpintero Corporation, isang kumpanya. So dalawang kumpanya po to, pero ako parehong may-ari. Yung benta po, nagpagawa ako ng lamesa doon sa aking korporasyon, which is, in this case, Big Dipper. The digitization, repurposing company. Pinagawa ko po to ng 100 pesos. Ngayon po, ako si ABS, nagawa na ho yung lamesa, binibenta ko po ng 120. Kumita po ako ng 20 pesos. Ulitin ko po ako yung kumpanya.
Your cost is 100, you sold it for 120, your gain on sale is 20 pesos.
Opo. Under the law, I will pay more or less 6 pesos for my income tax.
Opo, 30% of 20.
Apo. Yung po pinagawan ko ng lamesa, 100 pesos, pero ang cost niya, ilagay na rin po natin, 80 pesos. Kumita po yung Carpentry Corporation ko ng 20 pesos.
Yung hypothetical tama po.
Apo. So dun sa 20 pesos ko, sa kadahilanan na ibang tax regime ko, 5% lang. Ang babayaran ko lang po ay piso.
Because meron po siyang sariling tax regime. So yun po yung magiging applicable tax po sa kita niya.
Piso lang po. So, kaya ko po binanggit to para maintindihan ng ating tambayan. Ganito po yung nagiging parang produkto at ito yung inyong korporasyon. Ang tanong po ngayon, bakit po kayo na rin may-ari ng Big Dipper? Eh parang ang laki nung margin na ibinibigay nyo because kumikita siya ng 2.4, 2.5 billion every year. Paliwanag ko lang po. Kasi kung ako po yun, pareho ko namang korporasyon, eh baka nga po dito hindi na ako break even lang siya. Sumweldo lang ang tao niya, ayos na eh. Pero taon-taon, 2.4 to 2.5 billion po ang kinikita ni Big Dipper.
We were guided po by the market prices, and the market prices that we use po are based on a transfer pricing study. In order for those costs to be those prices to be considered at arm's length, kailangan po arm's length. Otherwise po, the prices will be questioned also. So to make sure that the prices are arm's length, ito po ay ginagawa ng transfer pricing study, and the prices po that we extend to the Philippine companies are the same prices that we extend to the foreign corporation. And if you go outside of the country, these are probably the rates that will also apply for these kinds of services. So what I'm saying po is, although the margin may seem to be big, but it follows po the transfer pricing study, and it actually is considered an arm's length transaction.
Mr. Senado, so ang sinasabi mo, itong binagbatayan ninyo based on a transfer pricing study.
Yes po, Your Honor.
At ito po yung ibinatay nyo sa international pricing.
Binabatay po namin to sa comparable prices. If it's available in the Philippines, we look at the prices. But if it's not available, we look at international prices. And this is not just true for the Philippine entity, but also for the foreign entity.
So ang ibig sabihin po, mas mura tayo. Eh, laki po ng margin ninyo.
In most cases po, pag napansin nyo po, most foreign companies would place their operations in the Philippines because mas nakakamura naman po talaga sila ng operations in the Philippines. And that's precisely why most of the BPOs are in the Philippines, or if not, it's in another low-cost country, maybe India or Malaysia or even Dalian in China. So I guess yun po yung mga strategy ng mga foreign companies to bring down the cost po, to put it in a low-cost country.
So I agree. So tama po yung inyong binanggit na talagang maganda yung ating cost dito, and basically napababa po natin, or hindi napababa, kundi mababa ang cost ng inyong pagpapagawa para po sa digitalization at repurposing.
Apo.
BIR, Mr. Chairman, if I may ask BIR about this, si Division Chief Kabantak.
Nandiyan na po yung BIR.
Your Honor, this is Revenue District Officer Arnold Pugalapi of RDO 39. Was the jurisdiction of
wala po sir.
I've not yet taken my as a witness, Your Honor.
Sir, excuse me po, wala po akong tanong. Hindi pa ako kayo nag-oath, sir?
Mike, ipa-oath po muna natin siya. Hindi pa daw siya naka-oath.
Okay, sorry for that.
Comsec?
With your permission, we request the committee secretary to administer the oath.
Comsec, paki-administer po.
Yes, sir. Director Cabantac, please raise your right hand.
No, Arnold Pugalapia, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth before this joint congressional committee, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Sir, sa BIR po, pasensya na po kayo medyo choppy ho yung inyong
Okay, Your Honor. Please try. Subukan na ninyo. Baka maliwanag na po ba?
Salamat po. Opo. Narinig niyo naman po yung CBN, di ba? Yung pong dun sa kinita at dun sa babayaran.
Apa.
Wala ba ho kayong nakikitang mali?
If I may, ang unang-una, yung with regards to cost, it's true. Talagang napakababa yung cost nila. To give us an example, starting 2016 with the sales or gross revenue of 2.3 billion, yung cost of services nila is 3.5 million only. That is one example. For 2017, with the revenue of 2.6 billion, ang cost nila is 274 million. And the rest, ganon din, Your Honor, mabababa. If you are asking our opinion, personally, talagang it is a little bit unusual, mababa compared with the usual businesses. What we can ask, kasi ngayon pa lang ako in my term as Revenue District Officer who handles the Big Dipper, nag-issue kami nitong May ng taxable year 2019 ng letter of authority to investigate the Big Dipper. Now, isa sa hindi pa nila binibigay sa amin is the service agreement. May ano yung mga agreements nila with ABS CBN, with the Global Hungary. Doon namin makikita kung ano yung pasahan nila ng revenue, ng cost, yung mga sinisingil. Kasi sila din eh.
Tama po. Thank you, Mr. Velasco, the Head Executive Revenue Executive Assistant in Advocacy Service. Tama po ba?
No, I am Revenue District Officer Arnold Pugalapia. Kasi under RDO 39 South Quezon City po kasi ang Big Dipper. Handling the Big Dipper.
Sorry po. Your last name, sir, is RD Carabia.
Galapia. RDO Galapia.
Galapia. RDO Galapia. Opo.
Yes, sir.
RDO, tanong ko lang po. Under the rules, di po ba yung transfer pricing technically can be allowed?
Yes, Your Honor. Can I make a comment?
Po?
Can I make a comment?
Oh, yes, sir. Go ahead.
It is true na ang kailangan natin ng investor with the so-called this PESA, no? PESA law, but to us the tax servants or collector, no, of taxes, we recommend maybe it's now time to review about the PESA law, especially itong mga conglomerates if they're entering into this kind of PESA allocators, para mabalance natin yung benefits ng investments and also yung mga purgan taxes.
Thank you po. Is there such a rule about abuse of transfer pricing?
For now, Your Honor, baka kailangan papasok yung power ng legislative, no, to take into a look sa ating tax laws para medyo ma-adjust pa natin so that we can be given the tool by using the law kung makita, kasi mga tax experts itong mga ginagamit ng mga multinationals or even our big corporations in the Philippines. They know what is legal. So naka-bind din ang aming kamay sa bagay na yan.
Yes. Mr. Velasco, ito nga po yung this came from committee. Transfer pricing is not an illegal activity, but fraudulent pricing and abusing transfer pricing for the purpose of tax evasion are. So, if BIR will look into this and establish that there is an abuse of transfer pricing, then you have now a case, not of for the purpose of tax evasion, then it would now be a case.
Your Honor, can I refer you to Attorney Velasco? I think he is also in the Zoom meeting, Attorney Felix Roy Velasco.
Attorney Velasco po.
Yeah. He can continue to answer regarding that matter.
Yes. Attorney Velasco is recognized. Mr. Chair, with your permission.
Go ahead po, pero hinahanap ko po si Attorney Velasco, hindi ko na nakikita dito sa Zoom eh. Kung Mike parang wala siya.
Opo. Director.
Dito na.
Go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Velasco, I will tanungin ko po sana kayo, wag na po siguro, tanungin ko na lang ko kayo ngayon. Yun nga po, abuse of transfer pricing is for the purpose of tax evasion is actually a violation. Attorney Velasco, go ahead.
In general, Your Honor, any scheme that is used to defeat the proper payment of taxes is tax evasion.
You're saying, Attorney Velasco, kahit na po hindi abuse of transfer pricing, just the act of transfer pricing to for the purpose of tax evasion is already a violation.
As long as the scheme is utilized, Your Honor, there should be a proper amount of taxes to be paid under the law, and then the scheme was used to defeat the payment of these proper payment of taxes, then that would be tax evasion, Your Honor.
So maybe Mr. Velasco, I will not bother you. You're driving. That's very dangerous. But yun lang po, this particular case, does that strike you that there is a scheme that you may have to look into as BIR na kailangan po ninyong tingnan?
Yes, Your Honor, as long as the matter is brought to us, and of course we conduct the proper investigation, and then we do find out that the scheme is utilized to defeat the proper amount of taxes to be paid, then we will commence the filing of a tax evasion case.
Salamat po, Attorney Velasco. I will not bother you anymore, but thank you for giving your time even when you're driving. Maraming salamat po. So, Mr. Chair, if I go back to ABS CBN, do you want to react on the statement of BIR?
Your Honor, my only reaction is transfer pricing done by ABS CBN is reviewed by third party. So the prices that we looked at is the prices if we have gotten it to a third party. So there is a documentation po, and this is a requirement when there's a BIR audit. And this is available naman po when they do the audit. So ang sinasabi ko lang po is our transfer pricing is not something that we created lang internally. This is actually reviewed by a third party, that says that we comply with the requirements of the transfer pricing. And as a matter of fact, ang BIR po has safeguards in order to ensure that taxes are paid. There's value-added tax on your revenue immediately paid. There are withholding taxes immediately on any sale of goods and services, so that taxes are withheld immediately. And at the bottom line po, there is minimum corporate income tax. I would assume that these are the safeguards to ensure that the taxes are properly paid, especially by the big corporations.
Mr.
Yung
Chair,
pong,
may I interject?
Yes, go ahead.
What is
Before
the-
you, Honorable Marcoleta, kasi po kanina po gusto mag-interject ni Honorable Barsaga,
Sige po,
para tapos bigay ko po lang sa inyo mabilis. Go ahead, Honorable Barsaga.
mas matanda naman po yan, okay lang.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Very short lamang, nais kong balikan si RDO Galapia.
RDO Galapia. RDO Galapia is recognized.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, RDO.
Yes, Your Honor.
Nais ko lang linawin kung tama ang aking pagkakaintindi that based on your statement, yung cost of production or cost of goods sold ng Big Dipper ay masyadong mababa.
Yes, Your Honor, based on our records.
Baba.
Yes, Your Honor.
Approximately anong percentage sa gross revenue?
Dito na lang, ituloy ko yung sa 2018 with the gross revenue of 2.6 billion, ang cost naman is 299 million.
299 million.
Yes, Your Honor. Sa kaya may gross income sila na 2.3 billion.
At ang kanilang cost is only 290 million.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sinabi dito kanina na ang kinatawan ng Big Dipper na ang kanilang kliyente ay 4 na korporasyon pinangungunahan ng ABS CBN Corporation. At yung gross nila na 26 billion ang galing sa 4 na korporasyon, ABS Corporation, Inc., at saka mayroon pang 2. Yes.
Yung isa sa malaki nilang source of revenue is yung global na Hungary, Your Honor. ABS CBN Global Hungary.
Yun ang kanilang source.
Yun ang isa sa major source nila, Your Honor. So sunod yung ABS CBN.
So ang perception ko lang, ang nagbabayad sa Big Dipper ay mga kumpanya rin na under the control ng ABS-CBN Corporation o ng Lopez family. Will the representative of Big Dipper confirm that?
Yes, Your Honor. Ito po yung mga ibang kumpanya.
So madaling sabi, yung the Big Dipper, that will be a legitimate offense on the part of the corporations controlled by ABS-CBN. Tama po ba?
Tama po yan.
At sapagkat maliit ang inyong cost of goods sales, lalaki ang inyong gross net income. Tapang po ba?
It's a consequence po of having
Yes,
low
it's a
cost.
consequence. So tama. At saka malaki ang ating net income, kaya natin mag-declare ng bilyong-bilyong cash dividend sa ating mga stockholders.
Your Honor, tama po yan. You're referring po kasi na mataas yung presyo, mababa yung cost, malaki yung income. Corollary to that also, Your Honor, is looking at the export sales na pag mababa naman yung benta namin at hindi tama yung pricing, liliit naman yung bayaran ng income tax.
Hindi ka, kaya ngayon ang sinasabi ko, mataas ang ating gross income, mababa ang ating cost of goods sold, malaki ang ating net income, pagkatapos, siyempre, malaki rin ang babayarang tax by the owners of ABS Corporation.
Big Dipper is a wholly owned subsidiary or 100% owned by ABS CBN Corporation.
Kaya nga, yung kita nyo, yung cash dividend nyo, ibinibigay nyo sa ABS CBN Corporation.
Tama.
Tama. Kaya ang nangyayari, malaki ang inyong gross income sa korporasyon ng ABS-CBN, pati na sa mga subsidiaries, maliit ang cost of goods sold, malaki ang inyong net income, malaki ang babayaran yung tax, pero malaki rin ang cash dividend na ibibigay nyo sa ABS-CBN Corporation.
Tama po, that's the
Tama.
consequence
Kaya
of doing
ko,
business.
Nanggaling sa kanang bulsa ng ABS-CBN, ang binayad na 2 milyon, ang gastos ay 200 million, ang net income 1.8 billion, net of tax 1.5 billion, ibabalik din natin sa ABS-CBN.
Hindi lang po ABS-CBN ang kliyente niya, pero yung prinsipyo po, tama po.
Hindi nga, kaya nga sinasabi ko, stockholders lang, babalik natin cash dividend. Yes. Yes.
Okay po.
I'll go back to regional to Attorney Velasco. Where is Attorney Velasco of the Bureau of Internal Revenue?
Honorable Barsaga, kanina po kasi nagda-drive siya, baka po mahirapan na...
Okay, Attorney, ano na lamang?
Opo.
KRDO.
Opo.
Kung nag-issue kayo ng tax clearance sa Big Dipper for the year 2018, 2017, etc., ipapay ko lang to. Kasi ang perception ng ating pangkaraniwan tao, basta may tax clearance, ang isang taxpayer katulad ng ABS o CBN, ang sasabihin nila, bakit nyo pa binubulatat yung taxes involving these companies? Kaya nga, pinapaliwanag ko lamang, yung tax clearance nyo is not absolute. Ibig sabihin, in case of fraud, pwede nyo pang imbestigahan ulit ang Big Dipper or ABS-CBN Corporation kahit na nag-issue kayo ng tax clearance. Tama po ba yun?
Your Honor, for that period or at the time it was issued, the tax clearance was right.
Audio po, Mr. Chairman, hindi ko maintindihan.
RDO, medyo masama po yung audio natin.
Narinig yan ako.
Ilayo yung speaker, ilayo yung speaker.
Your Honor, narinig yan ako.
Pakilakas yung boses.
Your Honor, narinig yan ako. Is it clear? Your Honor, did you hear me? Naririnig nyo na?
Hindi po ho. Sorry ho. RDO Galapia, medyo maano pa rin po.
Ulitin ko po. Paliwanag na po ba? Okay na? Did you hear me?
Okay.
Okay? Ulitin ko po. Yung tax clearance po, at the time it was issued, wala pang nakikitang tax liability yung taxpayer. But pag nag-issue kami ng letter of authority, if we suspect something is wrong, possible na magkaroon uli ng tax liability. So, babaguhin yung tax clearance. Mag-issue kami ng tax clearance, meron ng tax liability in that case. For that period only yung tax clearance, it may change.
Okay, kaya ang sinasabi natin, posible pa rin na imbestigahan nyo ang Big Dipper kahit na meron tax clearance. Tama po ba?
Your Honor.
Yes. And as a matter of fact, although hindi na ako nagpa-practice ng accounting, under the Bureau or under the National Internal Revenue Code, the prescriptive period would be how many years from the discovery of fraud?
10 years, Your Honor.
10 years. So sa madaling sabi, kung inyong makikita that there were there was fraud in the filing of the corporate income tax or other documents at ngayon nyo na-discover 2020, pwede kayong mag-start ng 2010 upwards. Tama po.
Yes, Your Honor, within 10 years, yes.
10 years from the discovery of the fraud, not from the date of the filing of the tax, income tax return.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, Your Honor.
for that clarification.
Honorable Marcoleta. Just to be clear, the time on the Honorable Barsaga and the Honorable Marcoleta are, Mr. Chairman, are intervening within my time, but I'm allowing them in deference to seniority, Mr. Chairman, but it's still my time. Go ahead, Honorable
Sa
Marcoleta.
kaalaman po ni Congressman Mike Defensor, naubos na po yung oras. At ibibigay na po natin ngayon, ito po oras na ni Congressman
No,
Marcoleta.
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry. The interjection of the Honorable Barsaga, I was not yet finished. Pumasok po.
Pwede mo po bang tapusin na muna
Tapusin ko na lang, tapos punta
tapusin
na
mo
po.
po muna yung katanungan mo. At gaya po ng sinabi ko, tapos na po yung oras mo. Pagkatapos po, ililipat na tayo kay Congressman Marcoleta.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ito pong usapin na gagawin sa investigasyon na sinasabi ng BIR at ang mga tanong na ibinigay po natin dito sa ABS CBN. Katulad po nung nasabi ko kanina, ito po'y katanungan na nais ipatanong ng mga liderato sa Committee on Ways and Means, which is the body or the committee in charge on taxes of the House of Representatives. Pero ang mas importante po, katulad ng pagtatanong ko kanina sa inyo, Mr. Sarado, yung pong makita ng taong bayan, ano talaga yung sitwasyon na katulad ng piniliwanag ko kanina, 2 kumpanya. Nagbebenta ka ng mesa at meron kang kumpanya ng mga karpintero. Parehong ikaw may-ari. Sa katotohanan, no, kung nagbebenta ka ng lamesa, dapat ang charge sa iyo nitong carpentry corporation mo, tabla lang. Kung 100 ang paggawa, 100 lang din. Hindi niya kailangan kumita dahil sa iyo din naman yan eh. Pero dito po sa sitwasyon natin, yung 100, binibenta niyang 120, 6 na piso ang tax niya. Yung pinagawa niya dito na 100, ang cost nung gumawa, kumita rin siya ng 20 pesos, pero dahil nasa pesa siya, at ang tax niya ay 5%, yung 20 pesos ang babayaran niya, piso lamang. Dito po sa sitwasyon ng ABS CBN, ulitin ko lang po yung pinag-usapan natin kanina, ang binayaran magmula 2016, 2017, 2018 at 2019 ay nasa vicinity ng 110 to 120 million a year. 2016, nasa 125 ata po o 120 million, 2017, 2018, 2019. Kung wala pong pesa, ang dapat binabayaran ay nasa 700 to 800 million bawat taon, kada taon. Ang dapat napupunta sa ating kaban ng bayan. Kaya po siguro nag-interest ang Ways and Means Committee nung makita to na napakalaki po ng pondo na dapat napupunta sa ating gobyerno. Dahil after all, in the end, ang sabi nga po natin, in the service of the Filipino people. And what is the best service than to give the proper taxes so that we can build more school buildings, we can put up more hospitals, we can put up roads for the farmers. So ito po yung kabuang sitwasyon. Mr. Chairman, I will not anymore ask the ABS CBN people. Have already said enough. In fact, ayoko na po nga sana magtanong, but again, I thank them for answering my interpellation this afternoon. Marami pong salamat.
Thank you, Vice Chairman Defensor. Next to interpellate is Deputy Speaker Marcoleta.
Salamat po, Mr. Chair. Balikan ko lamang po sana sa umpisa yung naiwang ibang katanungan ni Congressman Mike tungkol po dun sa transfer pricing. Nabasa ko po kasi, Mr. Chair, itong ABS CBN Consolidated Audited Financial Statement for the year 2009 na kung saan sinasabi po ito. On January 7, 2009, ABS CBN Hungary was incorporated to be the holding company of certain international subsidiaries. On May 19, 2009 and June 19, respectively, 2009, ABS CBN Hungary incorporated ABS CBN Netherlands and established a branch in Luxembourg, respectively, which are intended to conduct the management of other business enterprises within the ABS CBN Group. Ito po. In December 2009, ABS CBN Global transferred its 100% ownership interest in ABS CBN International to ABS CBN Hungary in exchange for the issue of a $81 million equity note and the assumption of an existing $5 million note by ABS CBN Hungary. Consequently, ABS CBN Hungary became the new holding company for ABS CBN International as of December 31, 2009. Ganito po, Mr. Chair, sa dami po ng inikutan ngayon, hindi lamang po yung tax angle ngayon, implikasyon nito sa ABS CBN Global Hungary, Luxembourg, Big Dipper, yung parent company which is ABS CBN, at saka yung kanyang subsidiary, ay talaga pong yung question transfer pricing sa pagitan nitong related parties na ito ay talagang malinaw na dapat nating makita. Sabi po ng ABS CBN kanina, arm's length transaction being observed in the process. Tingnan po natin. Base po sa Big Dipper 2017 Statement on Comprehensive Income, yung cost po ng services niya ay 11% lang ng kanilang revenues. 11% of the revenues. Ibig sabihin po, yung gross income is 89%. Siguro po nakikinig naman ang BIR. Ito po ba totoong-totoo po ba kayo ito na out of cost service of 11% ang magiging gross income mo, 89%? Yun po naman kanilang net income before tax, Mr. Chair, na margin ng Big Dipper for 2016 and 2017. Ang controversial rate po nito ay, nag-seal po kasi sila ng rate na 88%. General administrative expense was only a negligible 0.23% in 2017 and 0.14% in 2016. In terms of capitalization, Big Dipper was incorporated with only 12 million pesos, Mr. Chair, in capital stock. Hindi po ba katakatakang masyado ito kapag hindi po natin naisip na 12 million capitalized company mag-generate po ng 2.7 billion in revenue? Ewan ko po kung po pwedeng mangyari po sa isang kumpanya yun. 12 million capitalization generating a total revenue of 2.7 billion. Kailangan po talaga yung transfer pricing strategy ng kumpanya ay kailangan nating ma-scrutinize. Sana po nakikinig ang BIR. Pwede po bang magtanong muna sa ABS-CBN kung natatandaan po ninyo yung bahagi ng inyong prangkisa tungkol po sa pagbabayad ninyo ng income tax? Kung dala-dala po ninyo yung old franchise ninyo, 7966, nakasulat po doon ang tungkulin nyo ng pagbabayad ng tax. Pwede po ba nating basahin sandali yun?
ABS CBN.
Mr. Chairman, may I be recognized? Mr. Chairman, Section 8 of the franchise reads, tax provisions. The grantee, its successors, or assigns shall be liable to pay the same taxes on the real estate, buildings, and personal property, exclusive of this franchise, as other persons or corporations are now or hereafter may be required by law to pay. In addition thereto, the grantee, its successors or assigns shall pay a franchise tax equivalent to 3% of all gross receipts of the radio television business transacted under this franchise by the grantee, its successors or assigns, and the said percentage shall be in lieu of all taxes on this franchise or earnings thereof, provided that the grantee, its successors or assigns, shall continue to be liable for income taxes payable under Title II of the National Internal Revenue Code pursuant to Section 2 of Executive Order Number 72, unless the latter enactment is amended or repealed, in which case the amendment or repeal shall be applicable thereto. The grantee shall file the return with and pay the tax due thereon to the Commissioner of Internal Revenue or his duly authorized representatives in accordance with the National Internal Revenue Code, and the return shall be subject to audit by the Bureau of Internal Revenue.
Salamat po. Maliwanag po dyan na binabanggit sa sarili ninyong prangkisa na ang ABS CBN kinakailangang magbayad ng kaukulang buwis sa ating pamahalaan. Di po ba?
Tama po.
Okay. Tama po. Hindi naman po sinasabi dyan sa prangkisa na bago po kayo magbayad ng buwis, kailangan pa kayong idemanda ng BIR. At mula doon, makikipag-compromise po kayo. Ang sinasabi po dyan, lahat po ng kaukulang buwis kailangan yung bayaran. Huwag nyo na pong hintayin na idemanda pa kayo ng BIR, magtatalo pa po kayo, hanggang sa mauwi lang kayo sa compromise agreement. Malinaw po ba yun na walang sinasabi na compromise agreement yan, na magbabayad kayo kagad ng tax? Sang-ayon doon sa inyong prangkisa.
Your Honor, the remedy that is given to the taxpayer may not be included in the franchise, but it should not be taken as singularly, but it should be taken in consideration with the other taxes that relate to, other rules that relate to payment of taxes. And one of them is a remedy that is given to a taxpayer to actually, if there are protests or disputes, there is a remedy to resolve it.
Mr. Chair, naiintindihan po natin yun. Kaya ko lang nang pinanindiganan na wala namang compromise agreement dyan sapagkat huwag yun ang dapat na default na ginagamit ninyo. Dito lamang sa nakita naming mga binigay na reports ninyo ay 5 tax cases ang nakapending sa Court of Tax Appeals at itong 5 ito ay kinompromise agreement ninyo. Napakalaki po kasi ng diferensya kapag nagbayad kayo through compromise agreement kesa sa talagang bayaran nyo na lang ng kusa kung tama naman ang assessment sa inyo ng BIR. Isang example po ito. Ito po ang kinompromise ninyo na kaso sa BIR ay nanggaling po doon sa formal letter of demand, July 31, 2014. Ang sinisingil po sa inyo ng BIR ng napakaraming uri ng taxes, kung susumahin po natin, umabot po yun ng 2.5 billion pesos. Tama po ba yun?
Your Honor, I have to actually reconcile the numbers.
Nandito po yung record, sarili po.
Apo yung binabanggit nyo lang po, I would have to reconcile. You're referring
Yun nga
to
po, yung
all
formal letter of demand dated July 31, 2014, sari-sari pong mga taxes yun. Pagka yun sinuma ninyo, aabot po yun ng 2.5 billion pesos. Ikinompromise po ninyo sa pamamagitan ng BIR, ang binayaran lamang po ninyo, 152 million 0.4. Ibig sabihin, ito po ay nagre-represent lamang ng 3.81% ng dapat ninyong bayaran. So sino pong nalulugi dito, hindi po ba ang ating pamahalaan? Sa halip na magbayad kayo ng 2.5 billion, ang binayaran nyo lang 152 million. Ngayon po, nandito tayo, kinukonsidera natin ang proposition kung kayo bibigyan pa o hindi na bibigyan ng prangkisa. Napakarami po ng sama ng loob na dinudulot ninyo sa amin. Bakit naman po 3.81% na lang ng dapat ninyong bayaran? Nagtataka naman ako sa BIR kung bakit niya pinayagan ito. Siguro ito po maaari nating tingnan uli, Mr. Chair. Ito po ang lumilitaw. Hindi ko po alam kung sa ibang, doon sa mga natitira pong 4 pang nakapending na kinompromise ninyo, ilan po yung aggregate amount na sinisingil ng BIR at nung ikompromiso po ninyo, magkano po yung ibinayad ninyo?
Your Honor, you're referring to the initial assessment which were then subjected to a series of discussion with the BIR in order to ensure that the initial assessment po is acceptable or valid. And it's a process po that every taxpayer go through when there is an initial assessment. And finally po, there is going to be a final decision from the BIR, and that is their final assessment. And if still under protest po, the taxpayer will be allowed to, as a remedy under the law, to either do a compromise settlement or to bring it up to the Court of Tax Appeals. If you may lang po, I want our tax counsel to be recognized, Attorney Carag.
Mr. Chair. I'm recognized, Mr. Chair.
Opo, recognized po kayo, attorney.
Your Honor, may basehan po yung compromise between ABS CBN and the Commissioner of Internal Revenue, Your Honor.
Ang naiwan ko pong tanong, Mr. Chair, dito po doon sa mga nakabinbin pang 4 na nakita ko sa report ng ating secretariat, 5 po kasi lahat yun eh. Ito po ba ay na-approve na yung compromise agreement sa pagitan ninyo ng BIR, yung natitirang 5? Maliban po itong binanggit ko na 2.5 billion pesos ang sinisingil sa inyo, pero ang binayaran nyo lang 152 million, representing 3.8%. Doon po sa mga natitira pang 4 na i-compromise na naman ninyo sa BIR, ilan po yung aggregate value nung i-compromise ninyo at ilan naman ang babayaran ninyo para makita natin kung ilang porsyento na naman ang babayaran yung buwis sa ating pamahalaan?
Your Honor, the amount is... Sorry po, sandali lang po. The amount is 553 million, Your Honor.
Doon sa natitirang 4 po?
Those assessment has already been settled in 2018, end of 2018.
So, ang binayaran po ninyo?
We no longer have a pending
Yung
case from
binayaran
those
po
that you
ninyong
mentioned.
553 million, ito po yung compromise amount.
Hindi po. Yan po yung tinatawag nilang final decision on disputed assessment.
Ilan po yung assessment dati ng BIR bago kayo nagbayad ng 553 million? Yung total assessment po nung 4 na kaso, binabanggit ko na ito po ay nakatala sa mga records ng aming secretariat.
Maaari ko po bang makuha yung mga pangalan? Or
Kumsek, baka nasa sayo yung 5 tax cases. Kaya ko po tinatanong sa inyo ito sapagkat kagaya nitong isang ito na kinompromise po ninyo ng 152 million. Samantalang ang sinisingil po sa inyo ng gobyerno ay 2.5 billion pesos. Alam po ninyo kung gagawin po na naman nating halimbawa ito, parang mumu na lang ang naibigay sa gobyerno eh. Yung mumu po, ito yung sumusobra sa pinggan natin na natatapon sa babae. Alam po ninyo kung sino lang nakikinabang doon sa mumu. Yung mga dagandingding na lamang po. Ganito po ang nangyayari, Mr. Chair. Kaya mula pa sa umpisa, bilang tao, ako po, napakasakit na makita yung ganito eh. iko-compromise ninyo, sana man lang kung kompromiso, medyo may laban naman ng gobyerno. Dito po ba sa 3.8% na binayad ninyo, sa tingin po ninyo, makatwiran po ito?
Opo.
Nasa sa inyo po yun.
Mr. Chair, may I be recognized?
Congressman Marcoleta, paki-recognize po.
Sino po, Mr. Chair?
Si Attorney Carag.
Sige po.
Your Honor, sa Section 204 of the Tax Code, which authorizes the Commissioner to compromise the settlement of taxes, the law sets the minimum amount that should be paid by the taxpayer, Your Honor, under that compromise settlement, which is, if the ground is doubtful validity of the assessment, it's 40% of the basic tax. And if the ground is the financial incapacity of the taxpayer, it's at least 10% of the basic tax, Your Honor. So the law already provided the proper safeguards to protect the interests of the government, Your Honor. And the authority to accept the compromise has been vested by law to the Commissioner, Your Honor. So even if the taxpayer is willing to offer to compromise the settlement of taxes, it's up to the Commissioner whether to accept the compromise or not, Your Honor. So in this case, Your Honor, the Commissioner would not have accepted the compromise if there is no valid ground for the acceptance of the compromise, Your Honor.
Alam po natin yun sapagkat nasa tax code yun Kayo na pong nagsabi na at least 40%. Ang binayaran po ninyo 3.81%. Ang tinatanong ko po sa inyo, ito po ba'y makatwiran?
Your Honor, because we have to exclude the penalties, Your Honor. The basis of the compromised amount is just the basic amount which exclude the penalties.
So, ang palagi pong modality na ginagawa niya sa tuwing kayo magbabayad ng taxes, puro compromise agreement, ganun po ba?
No, Your Honor.
Samantalang pinabasa ko sa inyo ang inyong prangkisa, dito nakasalig lahat. Ang katwiran ng BIR ng panahon na yon, nasukatan kung bakit umabot lang kayo sa 3.81%. Marami po kasi kayong abogado, marami kayong accountant. Kayo ang pinakamalaking broadcast industry sa ating bansa. So hindi ko alam kung anong pressure ang binigay ninyo sa ating BIR Commissioner ng panahon na yun Ang pattern po kasi, Mr. Chair, palagi na lang ganito. Bago ako magbayad, dadaan ka muna sa butas ng karayom. Ito po yung problema. Mr. Chair, wala na po itatanong sa BIR. Gusto ko pong matanong ngayon yung pong ating representative sa Philippine Economic Zone Authority. Kung nandyan po sila.
PESA?
Hello?
Director General Ching Plaza?
Yung pong isa, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Your Honor. We're all here with my Deputy Director General.
Ito na naman yun. Ano po ang designation po niyo, ma'am?
This is the Director General, Ching Plaza. And I have with me, Your Honors, my two Deputy Director Generals for operations and for plans and programs. If there are questions that I may answer for you.
Kayo po ba ang sasagot?
Sige, sir. If I can't provide the answers, I have the two deputies here with me.
Dito po sa Republic Act 7916 na batas na gumawa ng Philippine Economic Zone Authority. Section 2 po nakalagay, Madam. Sinasabi niya, the state recognizes the indispensable role of the private sector, encourages private enterprise, and provides incentives to needed investments. Ang katunayan po, ito ay lifted sa Section 20, Article 2 ng ating saligang batas.
Yes, Your Honor. I agree.
Alam po ninyo ito, Madam, di po ba?
Yes, sir. I agree.
Sa Section 3 po, na kung saan binabanggit yung purposes, intents, and objectives, babasahin ko po yung ilan lamang sa mga intensyon at mga purposes ng batas na ito. Sa paragraph C, sinasabi po ito, to promote the flow of investors, both foreign and local, into special economic zones, which would generate employment opportunities, and establish backward and forward linkages among industries in and around the economic zones. Nakasulat po yan, Madam.
Yes, sir. Your word.
Letter B, to stimulate the repatriation of Filipino capital by providing attractive climate and incentives for business activity. Ito pong pangatlo, letter E, to promote financial and industrial cooperation between the Philippines and industrialized countries through technology-intensive industries that will modernize the country's industrial sector and improve productivity levels by utilizing new technological and managerial know-how. Ang itatanong ko po sa inyo, ganun pala ang layunin ng batas. Unang-una para makapag-attract po ng maraming pamumuhunan ng ating bansa. Sapagkat kapag marami po ang namuhunan ng mga banyaga, malaki po ang pakinabang ng bansa. Lalaki po ang ating ekonomiya. Sapagkat kapag nakapag-set up po sila ng korporasyon, mga kumpanya sa ating bansa, talagang makakatulong po sila sa pag-generate po ng napakaraming trabaho. Makikinabang ang ating mga mamamayan. Tama po?
Tama po, sir.
Sinasabi po rito na pati ang ating industrial sector ay makikinabang kasi matuturuan nila tayo sa pamamaraan na may improve natin ang productivity levels ng ating technological and managerial systems. Dito po, lahat ng dapat ninyong approvein na magre-register dyan ay kailangang makapag-stimulate, marirepatriate ang Filipino capital. Kasama na po yung banyaga. Talaga pong ang pinag-uusapan dito ay makapag-attract tayo ng maraming pamumuhunan. Tama po, Madam?
Tama po, sir.
Ito po ba ay nagawa ng Big Dipper? Ang Big Dipper po ba ay nakapag-stimulate ng banyagang pamumuhunan na nadala niya sa ating bansa?
As you mentioned, sir, we are inviting or attracting export companies who are both local or Filipinos and foreign.
Ang tanong ko po, ang Big Dipper po ba nakaganap sa tungkuling hinahanap ng batas na ito na makatulong para makapag-attract, makapaghimok ng mga banyaga o kahit na Pilipino pang nasa abroad, makatulong sa maraming pamumuhunan na kailangan ng ating bansa? Nakatugon po ba sa patakarang ito ang Big Dipper?
Opo, sir, because of the technology that Big Dipper.
Doon po sa pamumuhunan muna.
Well, sa pamumuhunan, sir, they were qualified.
Magkano naman po ang banyagang puhunan na kanyang nahimok na dalhin dito sa ating bansa?
Sir, we can base it on our export revenues. Big Dipper registered 27.7 million US dollars as export revenues.
Hindi po ang tinatanong ko sa inyo kung magkano ang kanyang naiambag sa pamamagitan ng pag-a-attract ng puhunan galing sa labas papunta sa ating bansa. Naintindihan niyo po ba yung tanong?
Sir, yes po. Hindi po kailangan na manggaling sa labas ang kapital. Kasi nakasaad po dito sa amin.
Nagkakaintindihan, ma'am, kaya nung isang araw po, Ang gusto ko po sanang makausap yung kasama ninyo eh. Pagpaumanhin po ninyo ako sapagkat kukunti lang po ang panahon namin, gusto na naming tapusin sana itong isyong ito.
Sir, tama naman po ang sagot ko, no? Kasi nakasaad po dito, yung sources of income of our export companies will be the export revenues. So, it does not necessarily mean na ang puhunan ay manggaling sa ibang bansa. No? Because we allow Filipino-owned
Mr. Chairman,
export companies.
tindihan yung sinasabi ni DG Plaza. We cannot understand her. I think her signal is bad, or is there a problem with her system?
Ma'am Plaza, pakilakasan po yung inyong pagsasalita.
Okay, sir. Okay. As mentioned, nakasaad dito sa aming batas sa PESA na we qualify both Filipinos and foreign export companies to invest, to register with PESA. And we incentivize yun pong mga product at saka services. So among these services is the services rendered by Big Dipper. So they are into IT-enabled digital archiving.
Mawalang galang na po, ma'am. Meron po ba kayong kasama riyan na taga-PESA?
Okay, sir. Nandito ang aking dalawang deputies. If you want further explanation. Okay, si DDG Harry again. She's in charge of operation. Nung ang Big Dipper po ay na-register, sila po yung nagre-register.
Bakit 8 ba o 10? Yung bucket nyo, yung bucket lang, 10? Bucket lang? 10?
Lahat po original.
Okay.
In reply to your query on foreign investment, what the DG was trying to expound on is our law, as you mentioned, actually it's in section 3C of the PESA law. The statement is to promote the flow of investors, both foreign and local, into special economic zones which would generate employment.
Kayo dyan, ma'am. Pinag-usapan na muna namin kanina at nakilala na po niya yan. Ang tanong ko po, ang batas na ito ay nagkakailangan dahil sa pangangailangan po ng pamumuhunan ng ating bansa. Isa po sa layunin ng PESA, makaragdag po kayo sa ikadarami ng mamumuhunan sa ating bansa sapagkat napaka-importante po yon. Tama po?
Opo.
At kaya naman kayo binigyan ng kapangyarihan na makapag-attract ng investment sa pamamagitan po ng paglalatag ng mga mekanismo kung saan ay makapagbigay tayo ng tax incentives. Itong tinatawag nating tax holidays. Ito po kasi isang paraan para maganyak natin sila na mamumuhunan sa ating bansa. Hindi po ba?
Tama po.
Kaya po yung kung sino man ang mag-a-apply sa inyo, magre-register, susukatin ninyo doon sa pamantayan na binabanggit natin kanina, bakit na kailangan naman silang maglagak ng maraming mamumuhunan dito, makatulong naman sa ating bansa sa paglago ng ating ekonomiya. Hindi po ba?
Tama po.
Ngayon, tinanong ko po kanina doon sa unang nakausap ko, ilan naman po ang pamumuhunan o puhunan mula sa ibang bansa ang nadala naman dito ng Big Dipper?
Ang investment po ng Big Dipper comes from ABS, essentially or principally from ABS CBN Broadcasting Corp.
Okay.
So it is local investment.
Sa mga kapatid po, yung investment niya galing din dito sa ating bansa. Tama po? Ito.
Tama po.
Sa mga kapatid, kung ako po ay administrator ng PESA, hindi sa papasa sa pamantayan na ito. Ang pinag-uusapan po kasi rito ay mga foreign investment. E paano kung babaligtarin po kaya natin, ma'am? Kamukha nung kanyang kliyente sa Hungary. na ito po ay mula po sa ABS CBN, parent company, siya po ang nagtatag nun subsidiary niya. Sa makatwid, Mr. Chair, puhunan na galing dito, dinala pa natin sa ibang bansa. Di po ba baligtad, ma'am? Baligtad o hindi?
Hindi naman po baliktad.
Dito nga po sa bansa
Kasi
natin,
po,
ma'am.
excuse me po.
Sandali po, tandaan natin, ang batas na ito'y ginawa para maganyak natin ang mga tao sa ibang sa labas sapagkat kailangan natin ng puhunan. Para ma-track natin, nagbibigay tayo ng tax holidays, tax incentives. Ngayon, kung hindi naman po nila matutugunan yung kriteryang inilatag ng batas na ito, bakit naman yung binigyan ng tax incentive ang Big Dipper? Ang kapital po galing dito sa ating bansa. Nakita niyo po? Paano po nangyari? Wala naman silang itinulong kung ang pag-uusapan ay malaking puhunan sapagkat sila nga ang pinuhunanan pa, ang ABS CBN, siya pa yung nagbayad, nagrehistro sa Hungary, nakapag-establish sila, pati probinsya ng kanilang branch office sa Luxembourg. Puro po kapital ng Pilipino ang ginamit. Ang tanong ko po sa inyo, bakit pumasa sila sa pamantayan ninyo? Nilabag po ninyo yung Declaration of Principles dito at saka yung purpose, intents, and objectives ng batas na ito. Mr. Chair.
May I be allowed to answer, Your Honor?
Ano po?
May I be allowed to answer?
Sige po.
To go back po to what I said earlier, Section 3, letter C of RA 7916, which is the PESA law, provides as one of the purposes, intents, and objectives of the law, and I quote, to promote the flow of investors, both foreign and local, into special economic zones. So we can register companies po that are Filipino and that bring in local investments. So we have registered Big Dipper, which is a local company, and they brought in local investments. So there's no discrimination po in PESA,
Madam.
as long as the investor, whether foreign or local, brings in incremental investment into a new project that is export-oriented, then it can be granted PESA incentives.
Madam, ang pinag-uusapan natin kasi pamumuhunan. Alam ko po na local kailangan din. Pero higit sa lahat, ang hinahanap natin, mga banyagang pamumuhunan sapagkat ang ating bansa ay isang developing country. Kung titingnan po nyo yung letter D, sinasabi po, repatriation ng Filipino capital. Pati nga po yun ay kinakailangan nating ma-invite, ma-encourage. Pumasok sila sa ating bansa. Sapagkat ang pamumuhunan ang importante. Doon po ba sa puhunan na nakuha nyo sa Big Dipper, tanggapin ko na sandali na namuhunan sila kahit konti, karapat dapat ba sila doon sa tax incentive na binigay ninyo? Kasi po, kagaya ng pinag-usapan namin kanina, kung hindi sila binigyan ng registration, ang tax po na panggagalingan nila ay yung net income at ang gagamitin nating tax rate ay yung corporate income tax na 30%. Kahit papaano po, makababawi ang ating pamahalaan. Nung binigyan nyo sila ng 5%, yun po ay base lamang doon sa gross income. Mababa po yun. So nakikita namin yung sukatan po na ibinigay ng batas para matupad natin at makabuo tayo ng maraming pamumuhunan sa ating bansa.
Yes po.
Hindi po nyo na ilagay mabuti kung ang pag-uusapan ay yung Big Dipper. Unang-una, questionable kung sila talaga ay nakapagbigay ng napakaraming pamumuhunan, karapat dapat para bigyan sila ng tax incentive. Sa umpisa pa nga ho, siguro apat na taon nang magsimula sila, Wala po silang buwis, hindi pa, sa inyong patakaran, madam?
Opo.
Holidays, 4 na buwan, 4 na taon. Pagkatapos magma-migrate sila doon sa tinatawag nating gross income taxation, 5% na po yun. So kung susukatin natin, ma'am, baka sakaling 3 trilyon ang kanilang binigay na investment, baka papayag po ako. Ilan po yung investment? Magkano po?
Yung initial investment po nila is 434 million pesos in terms of equipment, mostly ho, and building improvements. $444,600,588
Mukhang hindi pumapayag yung mga...
million pesos. This is the first year investment po.
So, equipment at saka yung building, 400 million po. Yun ang
Building improvements only on their office, sir, not the building, not the entire building.
So, hindi naman po lumitaw na pagdating nila 400 million kagad ang investment. Tama po ba?
First year lang ho ito, 444 million in initial investment so that they can start to operate.
Yun nga po, sa sukatan po ba nitong mga objectives na to, karapat-dapat silang bigyan ng 5% na tax incentive?
Yes po.
Kung kukumpara natin sa parameters na nakalatag po dito sa Republic Act 7916.
Yes po.
Paano po ba nyo ina-approve? Sino-sino po ba ang nag-a-approve kung isang kumpanya ay karapat-dapat na bigyan ng tax incentive?
It is the PESA board po. So our group prepares the report to the PESA board, then this is presented to the PESA board for approval.
Kinonsider po ba ninyo na yung kanilang gagawin, magdi-digitize lamang ng content? Local content po kasi yung kanilang trabaho dito eh.
Yes po.
Ay inamin naman po ng ABS CBN.
Yes po.
I-digitize po yung content para sa ganun, ito po ay kanilang maipalabas sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo.
Yes po.
At yun po. So, content po ng ABS CBN, dinigitize po ng kanyang 100% subsidiary. Ang kanila pong holdings company nirehistro sa Netherlands, pero 100% na pag-aari ng ABS CBN. Ang capital po ay umiikot lamang sa kanila. So karapat-dapat pa sila nabigyan ng 5%.
Insofar as Big Dipper is concerned, it complies with the requirements for registration with PESA. So may I also inform po,
Formalidad po yan, ma'am.
that under the investment priorities plan of the country, which is issued by the Board of Investments and signed by the President of the Philippines, export of services is one of the promoted activities that are granted incentives. So if I may read from the investment priorities plan, which is signed by the President, export services is one of those listed as investment priorities project. Export services, as defined by the BOI in duly issued guidelines, is defined as service activities rendered to clients abroad and paid for in foreign currency with export requirement of at least 50% of its revenue if Filipino-owned or at least 70% if foreign-owned. So insofar as Big Dipper is concerned, they have, it is Filipino-owned, which is allowed to export services. It has also invested 444 million pesos in equipment and improvements fit outs in its office. It is also export-oriented because it is exporting its service to a client abroad, and that client abroad is a distinct and separate entity from Big Dipper. It is registered in a country abroad, and that country abroad, which is the client of Big Dipper, remits foreign exchange to the Philippines in payment for the export sale of Big Dipper. Also, if I may again say that to emphasize Section 3
Sandali po.
PESA Law 3C, which is one of the purposes, intents, and objectives of the PESA Law, does not limit PESA from granting incentives only to foreign investments. The statement in the law says, as one of the objectives of the PESA Law, to promote and the flow of investors, both foreign and local, into special economic zones.
Walang galang na po. Parang kayo na po ang tagapagsalita ng Big Dipper ako po ang magtatanong sa inyo, huwag po kayong magkukwento, ma'am.
PESA Law lang po.
Sandali po. Dito po sa paragraph D nung Section 3, susundan niyo po ako. To stimulate the repatriation of Filipino capital by providing attractive climate and investors for business activity. Gaano po ang nagawa ng Big Dipper dito sa objective na ito?
Actually, Section D is also an objective, but it is in addition to Objective C of the same section.
Ang pinag-uusapan natin ay letter D.
So wala pong repatriation kasi po, there's no need to repatriate because the capital is already invested from the Philippines into its Philippine company.
O yan, inamin po ninyo. Walang repatriation sapagkat nag-iikutan nga sila rito. Ang capital galing sa ating bansa. Pagkatapos sasabihin ninyo, mayroong foreign exchange. Magkano pong foreign exchange ang na-contribute ng Big Dipper? Magmula nang siya po ay bigyan ninyo ng registration hanggang ngayon.
First, if I may clarify po, what I am referring to really is Big Dipper. So I'm not referring po to
Magkano yung foreign exchange na nakuha na natin, na-contribute nila sa ating bansa mula yung registration?
The export sales in 2016 dollar values. Just a moment po. So in US dollars in 2016, total export sales of Big Dipper amounted to $27.7 million, which is equivalent to 1.3 billion pesos. In 2017, the export sales amounted to $27.176 million US dollars, which is equivalent to 1.307 pesos. And in 2018, export sales amounted to $27.715 US dollars, equivalent to 1.219 pesos. Sir.
Yan po ba yung nanggaling sa ibang bansa at niremit nila dito sa ating bansa? Nabasa nyo po kasi mga export sales eh. Tinuturing po nyo kasi na export pati ito eh. Nag-digitize lamang po. Pagkatapos ibinigay sa kanilang branch sa Luxembourg o sa Cayman Islands o kaya sa Hungary, ano po ang in-export nila?
The services
sila yung nag-produce.
Other IT and BPO
hindi po sila ang produce. Ang tuntunin po ng PESA, dapat po locator sila, silang magpo-produce, pagkatapos mag-export sila. Yung bayad ngayon ng kanilang mga consumer abroad, babalik dito sa ating bansa, ito po ang tinatawag nating parang foreign earnings. Makikinabang ang ating bansa. Hindi po ganito ang nangyayari, ma'am. Wala silang pinoproduce sa ating bansa. Ito po ay produce ng ABS CBN at saka yung mga subsidiary. Dinidigitize lang. Kumbaga, ina-adapt lang do sa technology ng iba't ibang bansa para mapanood. Dali ba po yung level ng technology sa ibang bansa? Ganun po kasimple yun. Sa makatuwid, talagang walang production. Okay? Ang talagang tuntunin ng locator dito, silang magpuproduce, silang mag-export, kikita sila ng foreign exchange, makikinabang ang ating bansa. Hindi po ganyan ang nangyari. Pero kahit na sa kabila ng ganyang mga pangyayari na bumabalot sa Big Dipper, binigyan pa ninyo sila ng tax incentive na 5%. Hindi po pangkaraniwan ang nangyari. Mr. Chair, salamat po sa inyo.
Thank you, Congressman Marcoleta. Next to interpellate is Congressman Remulla.
Mr. Chairman, meron naman tayong submission ng unbundled tax payments nila. Yung, kasi di ba nag-i-issue po kay Congressman Barsaga yung 14 billion o 15 billion tax payments. Na-unbundle na ba ho yan? Na hindi kasama yung mga withholding taxes sa mga artista at saka sa mga empleyado nila?
ABS CBN.
Those numbers po came from BIR. Those are the numbers that were presented by BIR, the payments of ABS CBN for taxes po.
Kaya inaamin nyo, yung payments ng ABS CBN for taxes na 15 billion na sinasabi ng BIR, kasama doon yung withholding taxes sa mga empleyado. Tsaka sa mga talents, o sino man yung nag-withhold kayo.
Kasama po because we're a withholding agent for the BIR.
So hindi nyo pera yon. Mali ho yung BIR doon sinabi nilang yun ang binayad ng ABS-CBN na tax.
Indirectly po because that was created from the jobs by ABS-CBN.
So may error po si Assistant Deputy Commissioner Cabantac sa pagsabi na napakalaki ng binayad nyo.
Wala po siyang error. I mean, the BIR can probably speak for themselves, but I would assume they were just looking at the BIR tax forms or tax payment forms that we file, which shows that those payments came from a tax remittance by ABS-CBN.
So that 15 billion is not a consequential amount because it does not represent the reality of ABS-CBN's actual tax payments.
Sir, the consequence of doing business is not just po income tax. There are other form of taxes po. Kaya po for the BIR, they look at it as all taxes paid by whoever files for or on behalf as a withholding agent and plus a company that pays the
Now
taxes.
that the ABS-CBN news broadcast that amount, is it the error of the reporter or the error of the BIR or both? Sino ho nagkamali doon?
Sir, again, the BIR can answer that, but from my view po, there's no error kasi po the payment form was prepared and it's actually a payment na nire-require ng BIR sa ABS-CBN.
So sinasabi nyo ngayon, you still claiming yung pinayad po ng mga empleyado, kiniklaim nyo pa rin na kayo ho nagbayad?
Paano po?
Kaya hiningi ko yung unbundled amount para ho naka-breakdown lahat ng taxes. Alamin ho natin kung ano talaga yung sa ABS-CBN, ano yung sa empleyado. Di ba ho ganun lang naman yung kasimple?
Tama po yan, pero ang sinasabi ko lang po, we were tasked by the BIR to make that payment. Kaya po ang payment form and even the assessment po, pag kulang yan, is actually assessed to the company and not to the individuals because they will have to do their own audit as an individual.
And when it is reported as news, although it's fake news, sumasakay kayo sa glory ng fake news pagdating po sa mababayad ng buwis?
Sir, I wouldn't know how to answer your question po.
Then don't. You don't have to. Itong Big Dipper, no? Sa Tagalog, ang Big Dipper, malaking tabo. Diba? Malaking tabo. Yung tabo, iyan po yung sinasalok sa timba. Sinasalok po yan galing sa timba o galing sa drum para ipanligo ng mga Pilipino. Kabisado nyo ba ho yun?
I thought it was a, what do you call this?
Comet, yung formation sa...
Constellation.
Oh, pero sa Tagalog kasi, ang Dipper tabo. Big Dipper, malaking tabo. Alam niyo ba ho yun?
Opo.
Kasi mukha hong malaking tinatabong pera ng ABS CBN mula sa Big Dipper kasi ang nangyayari po, yung transfer pricing mechanism na pinapaliwanag ko ni Congressman Defensor kanina ay napakalinaw. Imbis na sigilin po ng Big Dipper ang ABS CBN ng actual cost, kasi 164 employees lang, ang sinisigil niya yung commercial rates abroad. Tama po yun? Comparative rates?
That's the whole idea po of the transfer pricing.
Kaya ang binabayaran po ng ABS CBN International na subsidiary ng ABS CBN Corporation, tama ba ho yun? Ang international o yung sa Hungary, global, ang binabayad niya nanggaling din ho sa ABS CBN.
Hindi po.
Saan nanggaling ang pera ng ABS CBN global?
Because there is a legitimate business abroad, there is actually kung nakakapunta, alam ko po sa abroad, if you go abroad, you'll be able to watch the Filipino channel and there is a subscription that are being paid by the foreign nationals or Filipinos that becomes the revenue of the global operations. Yun po yung nagiging revenue ng Global Hungary, then that revenue is then paid to...
Sige, ganito na lang, no?
So it
Pakikita ko
doesn't
yung
come
sinasabi
from
nyo.
ABS-CBN.
Conglomerate ang ABS-CBN. Napakalaking kumpanya. Kumbaga sa... Ano ba ito yung octopus? Octopus? Ano yung octopus sa Tagalog?
May we be recognized, Your Honor?
Ano yung octopus sa Tagalog? Tika Bulacan mo magaling dyan.
Pugita.
Pugita, di ba? Yung pugita, meron siyang walong kamay. Kung saan po naaabot po ng pugita, may mga tentacles siya, di ba? No? Isang conglomerate po na parang octopus o parang pugita. Itong ABS-CBN, meron po kayong kita galing sa abroad, meron kayong kita galing sa advertising dito, meron kayong kita sa benta ng sine, may kita kayo sa pagbebenta ng teleserye, may kita kayo sa internet. Di ba ho? Ganon, no? Tama ba ho yun?
Tama po yan.
Ang nangyayari ho rito, para magbayad kayo ng buwis, yung inyong mga costing, sabihin natin, nagpatrabaho po yung ABS-CBN Global, papasok sa ABS-CBN, sa Malaking Tabo, sa Big Dipper. Di ba? Nagpatrabaho. ABS-CBN abroad, ABS-CBN Philippines. Pero sa totoo lang, isang kwarto lang ang nag-uusap dyan. Tama ho yun.
Sir, if it's going to be hypothetical, that operations of...
Hindi ho hypothetical. Big Dipper is operating, has only 2 customers. Ang customers po ng Big Dipper ay ABS-CBN din, di ba?
If I may answer lang po. Kasi po, ang sinasabi ko lang po is, if we have not placed Big Dipper in the Philippines, that services would have been required still by ABS-CBN and we could have actually gotten it abroad and the whole thing...
Alam namin yun. Kasi business plan yun eh. Magaling nga kayo sa negosyo.
Ang ibig sabihin lang po nun, wala na po yun sa Pilipinas. Wala rin pong revenue dito sa Pilipinas.
Hindi nga. Kasi nga kasama nga sa business plan nyo. Hindi nyo naman i-outsource yun kung alam nyo kaya nyo gawin dito, di ba? Kaya nga sabi nyo, gawin natin dito, magtayo tayo ng kumpanya na gagawa para sa atin, pero atin din.
But that would be the same offer po sa company of India. If you put your operations in India, they would give income tax holidays and incentives din po.
Yun nga eh. Basta pinili nyo nandito tayo. Pero usapan natin, yun nandito tayo. Ang sinabi nyo, pinsan. Kasi parang pinsan ba o kapatid? Ano ba ang turing ng ABS CBN Corporation tsaka ng Global at saka nitong Big Dipper?
Honorable Remulla, ang mga kumpanya po...
Yes, Vice Chairman Defensor.
Yes, I just wanted to interject para po magkaroon ng picture si Honorable Remulla. ABS CBN Hungary, ABS CBN Luxembourg, ABS CBN Cayman, yung pong Big Dipper, ABS CBN Corporation, yun na po yung nasa local. Yung ABS-CBN Corporation, meron na po itong mga kung ano nung Sari Manok. Pero ito po yung mga satellite companies abroad.
Ito lang ho yan. Ito lang ho yung idea ng inaano ko, Mr. Chairman. Pagka ganito po ang ginagawa nating mga paraan para makatipid po sa buwes. At sabi nila, para hindi na tayo pumunta ng India, tayo na lang gumawa. Yung talagang 164 employees, ang lumalabas, kumikita ng 2.5 billion a year. Pero ang totoo nun, pwede namang mas mababa ang cost nun. Malaki lang talaga ang binabayad ng ABS-CBN sa Big Dipper kasi nga, subsidiary niya. Ngayon, pagdating po ng income tax return nila, kasama sa mga cost nila yan. Ang cost nila, inflated na. Kaya pag declare nila ng buwis nila, i-menos nila yung cost na in-inflate din nila. Sila rin nagpalaki ng cost eh. May menos yun. Mas kukunti ang binabayarang buwis. Malinaw ba ho yun, Mr. Chairman?
Malinaw po.
Malinaw ba ho yun, Mr. Serrado? Hindi.
Magkaiba po siguro tayo ng interpretasyon sa situation.
Kasi ako ho para sa bayan, kayo ho para sa korporasyon. Kaya ibang pagkaintindi natin.
Parang hindi naman po masakit pong marinig yun para sa isang Pilipino.
Masakit ho. Kasi siyempre, lahat ng pinag-uusapan dito, pagka sa buwes, sinasabi nyo nabayaran nyo lahat, sinasabi nyo hindi kayo gumawa ng paraan para bumaba ang buwes nyo. Yung ba sinasabi ng ABS-CBN? Wala kayong tax avoidance mechanisms? O ito ay tax avoidance mechanism?
Sir, we've never entered into the tax avoidance scheme. And
Teka,
we paid for the right
Di ba tax avoidance is legal? Tax evasion is illegal. Tama ho yun? Attorney Carag.
Sir, we availed po of the tax incentives that are offered by the government.
Kaya nga,
So,
tax
wala po
incentive yun.
kaming
Kaya nga,
in-avoid.
it's a tax avoidance measure.
Available po as an incentive.
It's available as an incentive, but it's a tax avoidance measure. Ayun lang ho tinatanong ko eh. Ba't hindi nyo maamin yun?
Sir, if you want po, I can ask if Mr. Attorney Carag may be recognized because medyo legalistic po yung issue on tax avoidance.
Attorney Carag, is tax avoidance illegal?
Tax avoidance is not illegal, Your Honor.
So,
It's not forbidden our law, Your Honor. But regarding transaction between related parties, Your Honor, under our jurisdiction, it is not prohibited, Your Honor. But to safeguard the interests of the government, we have anti-abuse rules, which is stated under Section 50 of the Tax Code, authorizing the Commissioner to allocate income and expenses between or among related parties to ensure that the proper income is reported by each of the related parties, Your Honor. And this is further enforced, Your Honor, through the promulgation of the transfer pricing rules and the transfer pricing
Mr.
of the
Chairman,
memorandum order, Your Honor. So there
I
are-
believe that it will need the Commissioner Dula himself, to answer these questions because he was the one who signed the compromise and he is the one being pointed to by Attorney Carag na would be responsible for it. Are you saying that, Attorney Carag?
No, these are the matter on compromise different from the matter of transfer pricing rules, Your Honor. What I'm just
Hindi,
saying.
pero sinasabi nyo kasi, dahil yan yung pinapayagan ng tax code, we will need the word of the Commissioner na walang masama sa ginagawa nyo.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Vice Chairman Defensor.
Honorable Nimulya, yung compromise agreement po, nagkaroon na po ng findings doon, nagkaroon ng kompromiso. Itong binabanggit nyo ngayon, hindi pa ho naimbestigan. So wala pa hong compromise kung sakali. Kung meron mang nakitang pagkakamali.
O kung may pagkakamali o may marong kabalastugan, pwede ho talagang buksan ulit yan. If there's fraud, from the discovery of fraud, kagaya pinag-usapan kanina, sabi nga ni Congressman Barsaga, marahil kailangan buksan natin ulit ito. Kasi ang sinasabi nga ni Atty. Carrag, ito ang sinasabi ng batas, pero sinasabi pa rin ng batas, it is up to the BIR to determine. Tama ho yun?
We are saying, Your Honor, that we have already rules on transfer pricing, Your Honor, and that we followed those rules.
Mr. Chairman,
So meaning under the transfer pricing rules, Your Honor, it is provided that the related parties should follow an arm's length price, Your Honor.
Mr. Chairman.
And there are methods to determine this, whether the prices between related parties is arm's length or not.
Yes, that would be, let's request the BIR to look into this. Kasi nga, ang sinasabi nga nila, no matter how we argue here, itutuloy pa rin ng BIR. We might as well call in the BIR to explain to us this mechanism.
Mr. Chairman.
Vice Chairman Remulla, the chairman directs the committee secretariat to invite the BIR commissioner. Susunod po natin na hearing pagkatapos natin pag-usapan yung bias violations ng ABS CBN.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Vice Chairman Defensor.
Yes, Honorable Nimulya, kanina po nung tinanong natin yung BIR, Honorable Nimulya in the committee, and I guess you would agree, Atty. Carrag, that if there is an abuse of transfer pricing, yun po ang problema. At siguro, hintayin natin yung BIR kung nakikita nila because kanina tinatanong ni Honorable Barsaga, punto ng punto kung magkano yung cost at magkano yung kinita, nailinaw naman po yung sinasabi ng BIR, meron nga pong malaking problema dahil parang ang lit-lit ng cost at ang laki-laki ng dividends, Mr. Chairman. So, thank you.
Chairman Remulla,
may isa pang motion lang ako, Mr. Chairman, bago ako matapos.
ng BIR ay bibigyan ka po namin muli ng pagkakataon pagkatapos natin pag-usapan yung allegations ng bias sa ABS CBN. I-reserve po natin yung katanungan mo para kay Commissioner.
Ganun din po, I would like to manifest to this committee that we are filing a resolution also to investigate the compromise agreement entered into between the BIR and the ABS CBN. Kasi kung ito ho ang magiging way of doing business, kahit sabi sa franchise, babayaran nila yung buwis na napakagaang sa kalooban nila, paduduguin nila ang gobyerno, we might as well investigate this compromise agreement kung gaano ko kabigat ang naging sakripisyo ng Pilipino. Kasi makikita nyo, nagtipid sa buwis, nagtipid doon sa lahat. Yung manggagawa naman, ayaw nilang bayaran. Paano kung klaseng usapan to? Ito ba'y usapang pamilya o usapang apihan, pag-aapi na lang ng mga maliliit na tao? Yun lang ho, Mr. Chairman. Salamat po.
Salamat po, Senior Vice Chairman Boying Remulla, at kinikilala po ng chairman ng mga committee ito ang maikling manifestation ni Vice Chairman Mike Defensor.
Again, Mr. Chairman, in the interest of fairness, baka po pwedeng hinga natin ang posisyon ng lahat ng TV stations, broadcasting stations, on the following issue. The cost of the digitalization, yung kanila pong position on transfer pricing, and yung tax regime na kanila pong isinusunod o ginagampanan sa ngayon. That's all, Mr. Chairman. Maraming po salamat.
The committee secretariat is ordered to do so. Dahil po wala nang magtatanong tungkol sa allegations on taxes ng violations ng ABS-CBN, ni-reserve po natin yung katanungan ni Congressman Remulla para kay Commissioner ng BIR. Magsususpend tayo ng hearing and to continue Yes, Chairman Chigoy.
Yeah, maybe say something, Your Honor. This is from BIR.
Magsisimula po tayo ng hearing sa Lunes at ang pag-uusapan naman po ay tungkol sa allegations on media bias ng ABS CBN. Pagkatapos ay magkakaroon tayo ng pagtatanong sa Commissioner ng BIR. Hearing suspended.
Yes, suspended na.